Shields up, Ironbreakers. How's everybody doing today on this fine Tuesday afternoon? Hopefully you're all doing good, and hopefully we can improve on that with another episode of the Khan's Anvil. So, as it turns out, I actually did not have to run the stream on my phone. It came very close to it, though. Very, very close to it, because, as per usual, the unpredictability of Portuguese ISPs just keeps us on our toes every single time. Like yesterday, for instance, I didn't have internet the whole day. You might be asking, why did you not have internet the whole day? Because they didn't feel like it. It's just, listen, when you're living in Portugal, okay, any type of like tech work that you're doing it in hard mode. That's kind of the way that it goes. So just like yesterday, they just decided, you're not going to have any internet today. It is what it is. And then this morning, actually late last night, it's like internet comes back and I'm like, oh, cool, they fixed it. Whatever was the problem, they must have fixed it. Surely everything's fine now. Then this morning, internet the whole morning, no issues whatsoever. Internet right after I finish having lunch. So I'm like, okay, should be stable. Let me schedule up a live stream. I am not kidding. I put the live stream public, and it's like 30 minutes before it's time to go live. And I was like, okay, everything's good. Let me bring up my docket. Let me just like, see all the things we're going to be talking about today. Just, get ready for the show, all of that. Poof. Internet. Where'd it go? It was right here. The internet, it was right here. Connected to my PC. Not even 5 minutes ago. It's gone. Just like straight up gone. It was just like poof. Like a fart in the wind, it was gone. But luckily it came back right before the stream. Although I already had a solution. I had my phone tethered up to my PC. Then one of the PCs was sharing the connection through my network. And it was just about ready to go online. Just turns out I didn't have to do that. Hey, A-Rock, God Emperor Leto, Renix, Fishman, Eugenie, what's up? We're surviving the heat just fine. Just fine.
So grossly incandescent.
Steve Carmen, thank you very much for being with us for 29 months. Tip of the hat, appreciate support. Been a while since I got a stream. Started playing a new file on WoW, learned Switch X and beginning principles. Good job. Get Elon internet? I thought about that. Seems like it'd be way more reliable. Drummer King Rules, thank you very much for being with us for 26 months. Tip of the hat, appreciate support. Thank you. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you're all doing good. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, including like a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I've been struggling with it because personal family shenanigans keeping me from work. What's up with podcasts these days? I haven't seen much. Everything all right? Everything is fine in terms of podcasts. It's just okay. We'll get into that. Romag, thank you very much for being with us for 40 months as a dang, you absolute giga chad. Tip of the hat. Speaking of which, as per usual, at the beginning of Khan's Anvil, shout out to the Thanes out there. Dan Pribbernow, you Jenny, Colin LaShore, Crowmag, and Luis, thank you very much for being grossly incandescent as Thanes, you absolute giga chads. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ruri, did you make it at the Kill Team tournament? No, I didn't make top cut. Listen, the level of competition in Spain is on a different level, bro. It's just a different level. It is what it is. But in regards to podcasts, it's the reason why it's been rough is I've been having some issues with my son, as well as some other issues with other family members. And that just takes up all of my time. It makes it really hard to schedule anything with the content creators because it's just like everything's in the air. It's like, oh, do I need to go and solve something? I might have to. Like, streams have also been more inconsistent, and there's just really not a whole lot that I can do about it, and I'm sorry. Basically, that's it. How's he gonna make the cut without using orcs? Nah, dude. Dwarf for life. Already planning some free time with all the games coming up? No, I have zero free time. Zero free time. goddamn family making you love and care for them. I wish that was the thing. It's not that. It's not that. It's actually I actually have some family drama and some situations that I have to deal with that are not pleasant at all, but it is what it is. But yeah, continuing onwards. So there is a schedule thingy. Let me move this away. We're going to talk about quite a few things here today. Let me just move this. Swap this over here. Okay, we'll do this one afterwards. Schedule-wise, as you can see above my big shiny forehead, I was actually wrong about this. I don't know when this game's coming out. I misunderstood something about this game, so I don't know. I'm gonna put it as like maybe 2026, but I actually don't know. I thought that this was coming out on the 1st of July. It's not. So that one got knocked down, thank God. So next game we're gonna be tackling here in the channel is naturally going to be Endless Ragnarok. We're going to be playing the ever-living crap out of that. Not sure if we're going to be doing it in streams or what the content's going to be like because, like I said, this family situation is extremely complex and takes up a lot of time. So, yeah. But this is the next big thing. As a matter of fact, I should bold the things I'm actually going to cover because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to cover everything. So we'll do this. Maybe do this one. That one's kind of like a maybe. I don't know if we're going to be doing anything for Tarnished because I don't think there's actually any new content. So I'll probably just focus on this instead. This one's also kind of like a maybe. You know, we should put the maybes in like, yeah, like that. You know, we'll see if those pan out. Unfortunately, we have a big conflict here, which is Control Resonant versus Onimusha. There were rumors that Onimusha was actually going to be moved forward to like the 4th of September. Thank God they didn't do that, because then they would land on top of Blood of the Dawnwalker, and I want to have some sweet time to play that one. Eugenie!
Could be so grossly
Thank you very much for being gross. I got this for 20 months as a thing, you absolute Giga Chad. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are far too kind. Far too kind. Oh, I forgot to turn this thing on. I'm so dumb. There. As I was saying, so Endless Ragnarok, definitely going to be covering that. Varen's Call, definitely going to be covering that. Blood of Dawnwalker, definitely want to do that. Wolverine is a maybe. Depends on how far along we are in Blood of the Dawnwalker. Onimusha, definitely going to be playing that, which means Control Resonant is once again going to be relegated to backlog, maybe at some point. I don't know. But like, we're going to be focusing on Onimusha at that point. Then in here, it's going to be Dark Arisen, which is a huge problem for Valor Mortis, which I'm also really excited to play. It's like, what the fuck, bro? How are you going to put Valor Mortis next to fucking Dark Arisen? How am I supposed to... Well, in their defense, it's not their fault, because they had scheduled their game and Dark Arisen didn't even fucking exist at the time. Eugenie, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat, appreciate support. Thank you. I was about to say, wait. No Dawn of War 4? When's that coming out? September 17th? Oof. Oof. That is rough. That is big rough. That is big rough. I don't know. The problem with a lot of these things that I kind of like really want to cover and do more stuff with is the algorithm just fucks me over. It really is just that simple. Like, doing this would probably just fuck me in the algorithm for as much as I'd love to do it. Although, I am pissed off. There's no Votan, which is absolutely disgusting. I can't believe you would make a Warhammer game, not put Votan in it. Of course they're going to put Eldari in there because fucking space elves and orcs and space marines, those are the only things that matter. And chaos, of course. So Space Marines, normal ones, Chaos ones, fucking orcs, and elves. Those are the only things that matter. Are there even Necrons in the game? I don't even know if there's Necrons in the game. Crazy shenanigans. You did not announce your stream on Discord. Because, of course not. Because I was fucking dealing with bullshit. Stupid ass fucking Portuguese ISPs. Let me go ahead and do that. This is what I get. Absolute chaos, man. Absolute chaos. Okay. That's in there. As I was saying. So yeah, Dawn of War, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I mean, hell, I can barely get people to watch Path of Exile 2. I feel like that's more within my niche. Votan Slayers when? Don't know. You're talking about Total War 40k. Dawn of War 4 has Admech. What the hell is Admech? Oh, Adeptus Mechanicus. I was like, Admech? What? Adeptus Mechanicus, Space Marines, Necrons, and Orcs. You still haven't answered my... Are there Votan? Of course not. There's never Votan. There's never Votan. Yeah, the Discord notification just came through now because Wada actually called out to my attention. It was like, Rurikhan, no thing. So you guys didn't miss much. You missed the shoutouts. We were just chatting about shenanigans. Real quickly, I'll do a quick recap of the schedule that we're going over. The next titles that I'm sure to check out and do stuff with. Endless Ragnarok, 9th of July. Varen's Call, 27th of July. Beast of Reincarnation is a maybe. We'll see. These two I'm probably not doing anything with because I believe that there's no actual new content for Elden Ring. It's like a couple of cosmetics and stuff. Don't really care that much. Blood of Dawnwalker, definitely want to check that out. Wolverine's currently set up as a maybe. Dawn of War is going to be rough, way too close to Wolverine and potentially even Dawnwalker. Control Resonant is going to be relegated to backlog because Onimusha comes out one day after. There are rumors that Onimusha might come out one day earlier, most likely not happening. Next up, we're going to do Dragon's Dogma 2, Dark Arisen. I really want to do Valor Mortis, might have to do it later. Or depends if I get like early access to it or something. Maybe I can record a playthrough and just have that releasing at the same time as Dragon's Dogma 2. Not 100% sure if that is happening or not. We are most definitely not missing Phantom Blade Zero because it's going to be absolutely awesome. I really want to jump into No Rest for the Wicked, but like, look at October, bro. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Just look at that month. How are you going to release in October? When are you going to release in October? It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. We're kind of going to play PlayStation-only games. Wolverine is one of those. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, it's like, I don't know how we're going to be doing any of that. Also, where's Crimson Moon? Oh, it's in September. This should be moved up. Crimson Moon should be moved here. That's another thing. I'm not sure when Crimson Moon comes out. It's going to be another problem because I want to check out Crimson Moon. I definitely want to check out Crimson Moon. It's just a matter of when does it come out? Am I going to be able to check it out? I don't know. New video nerd, thank you very much for being gross and Gadessin for 24 months. As a long beard, you Giga Chad. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. You have to play all of the games. Absolutely. All of them. Literally all of them. But yeah. No Rest for the Wicked is one of the big problems right now. Because like, you look at October, it is giga stacked. I mean, there's stuff bleeding over from September, most likely, with Onimusha. So, it's just a giga stacked month. And it is going to be very, very hard to cover all of this stuff. But I definitely want to do something for No Rest for the Wicked. Maybe I'll play it off stream or something. Then make a video about it. Or make multiple videos. Maybe even do some guides. I don't know. But this is definitely one that I want to check out as well. Tides of Annihilation still set for 2026. Don't know what's going to happen with that. Mortal Shell 2 fucking impressed me a lot. So like I was expecting Mortal Shell 2 to be one of those, oh, we're going to play this demo and it's going to be like, you know, but Mortal Shell 2 is actually really, really good. So I'm genuinely excited for it. Don't know what's happening with Duskbloods. We definitely want to play that because it's a From Software title. I want to play Tides of Annihilation, but yeah, schedule is crazy. Zelda Ocarina of Time seems like it's going to be something that I might play off stream because I never finished Ocarina of Time. This might be the best time to revisit that. And yeah, the rest of it is stuff that's coming out next year. So we're not even talking about like, we don't even need to talk about what's coming in 2027 since 2026 is already so giga stacked. Rurikhan, are we playing later or no? You abandoned us mid-discussion. I didn't abandon you. I need you to understand. My internet service provider just shut off my internet and I was scrambling to figure out a way to do this live stream. And then internet came back up. I'm not ignoring you, bro. I'm trying. Why are you being so mean? It's hard, man. It's hard. My internet was dead. It was. Fighting Cowboy just like trolling me hardcore. Why would you do this? Why you do me like this? Because I'm okay. Ark is from the islands. He deserves it. He deserves it. He's from the islands, so he just deserves it. It is what it is. Press F to put respect. Rurikhan's never gonna hear the end of this one. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm okay being the butt of the joke. This is acceptable. This is something that I can live with. I mean, you're still working anyways, I would imagine, right, Cowboy? You can't be done before, like, 6 or something. Maybe 9 my time. I should be done by 9 my time. Say 9:30. Which would be in 5 hours and 40 minutes, give or take. We can try to get something at that. The Birdman. Cowboy convinced Rui to try Dragon Sword Awakening. Cowboy seemed bored by the end of that stream. I feel like Cowboy was bored by the end of the stream for Dragon Sword Awakening. I could be wrong. But I don't think he liked it very much. Mace Mommy was best part, but it was way too easy for me. I mean, yeah, because when I watched you play it and it just looked like Genshin. And I was like, okay. Because a lot of people, I think that a lot of people still think that the reason I didn't like Genshin was because of gacha. That was not it. I didn't like Genshin because their stamina system was ass. Their stamina system was so fucking bad, dude. Jesus Christ. Let me climb up this mountain like fucking 1 minute at a time with 2 minutes rest in between. I was like, what am I doing? I was literally contemplating my life choices when I was playing Genshin. And so every time that a game looks like it's going to be more of that, I don't even care about the gacha. I didn't even care. It was just straight up navigating the world was boring. It was terrible. So yeah, that was the thing. So whenever I see those, yeah. Doing some Night Rain, getting that itch again. It's mostly because Cowboy's doing modded runs. So we're trying out those modded shenanigans that I usually don't do much of, but yeah. As I was saying, like, in about 5 hours, 40 minutes or so, Cowboy, did I say? Yeah, 5 hours, 40 minutes or so, I should be able to join you guys. But you guys can start early or something, I don't know. But that would be probably when I'll be able to do stuff, because I also have my daughter coming in later, etc. Because, you know, we are in the middle of summer break. I mean, not in the middle, we're at the beginning of summer break. So kids also take up more of my time. Modded equals cheating? Absolutely. Every time. Okay. Anyway, those are the games. Those are the things that I'm going to be trying to cover. But I wanted to talk some more about Dragon's Dogma 2. And Dragon's Dogma 2 is something that I feel like a lot of us didn't really expect when it was especially because it got announced at the friggin' Nintendo Switch Direct, where you're like, really? That's where you're going to be announcing the Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC? That was so insane. But there were clues. This was like the first clue that we got. For those of you that are not aware, this was something that a lot of people were reporting at the time, and I didn't. Because I was like, nah, bro, this is some weapons grade copium that we got going here that people are just like, nah, dude. The way that, let me just shut down WhatsApp because people are sending messages and stuff that should go away. But it's like, when I saw this, the theory that people had, which turns out it was more than a theory, it was something that actually happened. But I just thought, this is weapons grade copium. People are absolutely insane. But it was this scroll, supposedly. This scroll says something about griffins flying down from the north, and they call the region Oregon. Even though the actual region is called Norgan, this was like the first clue of the DLC, which I just absolutely ignored. I was like, nah, bro. This weapons grade copium is what I was calling it. I was like, nah. So I didn't go in and rain on anybody's parade. I didn't say, no, it's definitely not happening. But I was like, no, I can't report on this. It's irresponsible. I thought it was irresponsible, but no, it turns out people were correct. Griffins did come down from the north, and that is what the DLC is all about. What do you feel about no new class? I wanted new classes for Dragon's Dogma, or maybe even returning classes like Mystic Knight, my beloved, because he's the one with the big shield, biggest shield, and then you like smack monsters. You have the big explosion thing that sends out balls and whatnot. That was pretty cool. Turns out that's not happening. I'm probably going to be doubling down on being a fighter, and it'll be just me and my pawn both being fighters, being absolute Giga Chads, destroying everything. Hey, Katame. But, yeah. Nero PR never lost hope. I was one of the copers in subreddit posting about this postcard. So much copium, dude. So much copium. But yeah, we have the official website, all of that. I've talked about that. There's a couple of more new things that we can talk about since ever since they did the showcase. They showed us a couple of more interesting things, but I figured I'd review pretty much everything that is happening around Dragon's Dogma 2. So naturally, the game's coming out on the 9th of October. That's going to be something that we're going to be covering. We still have our official pawn, I believe, likely linked in the system. So I can't start a fresh save, because if I start a fresh save, then you guys lose the official pawn, and that's not happening. The years of experience that pawn has gotten from helping everybody in the community, not just the situation with Fighting Cowboy where he was complaining that my little pawn couldn't jump out of the window. He was like stuck with his short, stubby legs. That's because he's a civilized pawn, okay? He goes out through the door like a civilized person would. Okay? My pawn goes through the door. He doesn't jump out of windows. His legs are too short because he's a dwarf. Okay? Can't you make a second save in parallel without overriding the existing one? Yes, but then I wouldn't be playing with the same pawn as everybody else. I want to be playing with... Arknight just comes in here and says he threw my pawn in the river. Why would you do this? Why would you do this, dude? This is disgusting. Disgusting behavior. And some of you guys, one of you guys gave my pawn AIDS. That is not cool, dude. Dragon's Plague. But yeah, so the director for Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, which the title is another thing that is very strange. Like, why would they call it Dark Arisen again? But I guess that the theme is the same. It's like an Arisen that tried to do something that didn't involve the direct. I mean, in a lot of ways, the stuff that we do could also, you know, the way that we tackle the story, especially with, you know, the Godsbane chopping off the heart of the dragon with Godsbane, couldn't that lead to also a Dark Arisen scenario? Because you're not respecting the cycle. But I guess the difference is usually our Arisen, when he disrespects the cycle, he disrespects the cycle by confronting the dragon in ways that the dragon didn't really expect. Whereas the other Dark Arisens usually, not the other... I was going to say the other Arisens, but I was actually right. The other Arisens that became Dark Arisens, those usually try to escape or do some shenanigans to just like live with the power of the Arisen and not be a part of the cycle. And that kind of messes stuff up. But yeah, so it's going to be called Dark Arisen 2. The director is Kento Kinoshita, and his pedigree is actually quite good. He's worked on planning for Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter G, Monster Hunter 2, Freedom 2, Freedom Unite, Monster Hunter Tri. All of these are for planning. Then in Dragon's Dogma, he was actually gameplay lead, which is really good because it means he was deeply involved with the combat, likely the loop, and all of that good stuff. He was also involved in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Involved in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen as the director. Also the director of Dragon's Dogma Online, which is a damn shame that game never came to the West, because I never got to play that. I've always wanted to play a multiplayer Dragon's Dogma. Never got to play that. And I know that it's probably available through like modding tools, private servers, yada, 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 but you know, whatever. He was also director of Resident Evil Village Winter's expansion, and he was the lead game designer on Dragon's Dogma 2, and he's now going to be the director on Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. So the man's got chops. He is likely going to be able to do a very good job. At least that would be my expectation, considering all of his experience with not just Dragon's Dogma, but also Monster Hunter. So we should have a pretty solid DLC. Now, one of the things that I thought was very important, and I'm not sure if I've given enough airtime to this particular bit of news here, but this actually shifts it shows a shift in monetization philosophy for Dragon's Dogma, which thank God, because we had so much needless drama. And I say needless drama as in this could have been avoided if some marketing genius at Capcom just didn't. You know, it's one of those situations where you spend so much time thinking about whether or not you could that you didn't spend any time thinking about whether or not you should. And marketing people should think more about whether or not they should, not whether or not they can. Okay? That is my message for marketing people everywhere in this fucking industry. Because this is, you know, the drama that we had at the beginning of Dragon's Dogma 2 was not unwarranted. It was not unwarranted. I've talked about it at length. I specifically said, like, this is fucking stupid because we all know that this is not a part of the vision of the actual director of the game. Because the director of the game specifically said, I want you guys to have to, like, you know, do traveling, not have easy access to fast travel. We want to make this hard. And then the marketing genius goes, and I'm going to sell a fucking port crystal. I'm so smart. Mommy said I was special. So I'm going to sell a port crystal. Fucking idiot. Anyway, continuing on as I was saying. To prepare for the release of Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen, we'll be discontinuing the deluxe edition of Dragon's Dogma 2 as well as certain DLC items on June 24th. So they're basically taking away the microtransactions, which I'm hoping, but this is like some weapons grade hopium going on here. I'm hoping the reason they're doing this is because nobody bought the fucking thing. I would really like to believe that. I would really, really like to believe that they're removing it because people didn't buy it, because that would be really, really cool. But honestly, I don't know. Maybe they're buying goodwill from the community. I don't know what the reason why they're doing it, but regardless, it is a good thing. So the stuff that they are removing is Boon for Adventures, New Journeys Pack. I think that this had like some consumable items and shit like that. Harpy Snare Smoke Beacons. So the thing that allowed you to lure harpies. Heartfelt Pendant, Thoughtful Gift. This is like a gift that you can give to somebody and it increases the reputation with your character or something like that. Rift Incense to change pawn inclinations. I think that this is stuff that you can get in game, I'm pretty sure. I forget exactly how it works, but I'm pretty sure you can get this stuff in game. Makeshift Jail Key. An Escape from Jail Key, which is the dumbest thing that you can fucking sell as a microtransaction, because people might think, oh, I better get a get out of jail free key because it might be rough if I end up in jail. Escaping jail is one of the easiest things to do. And there's like multiple ways of doing it. I forget exactly all of them, but like you can go through a wall, you can fucking bribe the guards, you can kill the guards. There's a bunch of different ways to escape from jail. You don't even need a key, but you can also get keys fairly easy. You can craft them, you can forge them, yada, yada, yada. Art of Metamorphosis character editor. I don't know what this is. This like a character voucher? Is that what this was? Because I didn't buy any of this stuff. Port Crystal, thank God. This was the most egregious microtransaction, the Port Crystal. Wakestone was also fucking stupid, selling a Wakestone, because these are also very rare, if I remember correctly. There's not... Am I misremembering, or there were not that many Wakestones in Dragon's Dogma 2? Regardless, they're getting removed. And the Rift Crystals is just like, if you really are special, then you might want to buy Rift Crystals. But yeah, all this stuff is going away for future purchases of the game, which is obviously a good thing. Following items still be available: Dragon's Dogma 2, naturally the actual game. Explorer's Camping Kit, this is like a cosmetic for your tent or something. No, wait, didn't it had an implication? I think that there was less chances of you getting invaded if you used, not invaded, if you getting like interrupted in the middle of the night if you use this one. I forget. And they're still selling the soundtrack. And then the base game of Dragon's Dogma 2 will also receive a permanent discount, which this is the stuff that I was talking about. This has already been applied. So I told you guys to wait in case you were thinking about buying the game. The permanent discount has been applied, and that is something that we got to talk about as well. So right now, the base game of Dragon's Dogma 2 costs $39.99. And then there's a bundle that includes Dragon's Dogma 2 as well as a bunch of more stuff. And it includes the expansion, and that one's $49.99. And the reality is, this is the bundle they want you to get. Because the expansion by itself, this is the thing that I don't like. The expansion by itself costs $29.99. And you guys are like, well, why don't you like that? And I think it's kind of unfair for Capcom to charge this much just for the expansion, because right now you can get the game plus the expansion at $49.99. So it almost feels like the people who bought in early are getting a little bit punished, even though it's not like an egregious price, like 30 euros I think is more than fair for the expansion. But I kind of feel like, considering all the problems that the game had and all of the drama that people went through, the people that stuck with the game should be rewarded. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be on price, but on price would have been good. Like, imagine, if you played game at this date, then for you the expansion is only $19.99. That would have been like a really good step in the right direction, I feel. But, that's likely not going to happen. It is what it is. But it would have been nice, like, okay, so if you played the game in the beginning, during a certain 6-month window of release or whatever, like if you play the game during these 6 months, then here's like an exclusive tent or some cosmetic or some such that does not have gameplay implications. I feel like it would have been good for them to acknowledge the players that stuck with the game despite all the difficulties that the game had in the beginning. So, I just feel like that would have been fair, but whatever. I feel like the price, especially if you're coming in fresh, $49.99 is incredibly good value for the amount of gameplay that you're going to be getting for both Dragon's Dogma 2 as well as Dark Arisen. Now, we don't know how big Dark Arisen is going to be, but if the original Dark Arisen, especially considering they're calling it the same thing and is being directed by the same person, if the original Dark Arisen is anything to go by, then this is really good value. And that's the only thing that we have as a terms of comparison is the Dark Arisen from the original Dragon's Dogma. But yeah, I do feel like the early adopters deserved something a little bit more, something a little bit extra. I don't know if it would be like a discount, like hell, even $5 less. Like, let's say if you're buying it now, then yes, it costs $29.99 if you buy the item separately. But if you bought it back then it's like $25, like $24.99. Even that, just a sign of like, hey, we know you guys had it rough in the beginning, so we're going to make it a little bit cheaper for you guys to jump in on the expansion. Ruri glazing the game so much, I'm surprised Capcom didn't send him an actual camping tent. I have my banner. I have my banner. First expedition of the Forbidden Lands, baby. Let's go. But I like Dragon's Dogma. What can I say? I mean, the funny thing is, if you actually go back, we can actually check it out. Give me just a second here. If we actually go back, I have no idea how many years ago it was when I did my first one. Let me see here. We go Dragon's Dogma Rurikhan. Dude, there's got to be like some ancient ass videos. There's got to be like some ancient videos of Dragon's Dogma from my channel. Like all the way back in friggin' PlayStation 3. Yeah, the ones with the Rui. Like this was 12 years ago, bro. 12 years ago. Stomping Salvation, episode 21. But I wanted to go like all the way back even to trailers and stuff. 14 years ago. Dude, I've always enjoyed the game. What can I say? It's just quite simply that simple. Oh, trying out the demo. So there was a demo. There was a demo? That is crazy. I didn't even remember there was a demo for Dragon's Dogma. Character edit, countryside quest. Don't look at the young Rurikhan, okay? He will poison your mind. The young Rurikhan. Can't trust him. Look at those glasses. Those are the glasses of an untrustworthy individual. Look at this glorious 720p of the PlayStation 3, brother. Look at that. I was going over the demo and shenanigans. Bro, this was good times. Jesus, look at these visuals, dude. So old. The game already looked amazing back then. Look at those animations. Those animations are crazy, dude. But yeah, basically the point is, I've always liked this game. Ever since I first saw the very first trailer of it, I was absolutely addicted to this game. Did I make a fat dwarf? Look at this fat dwarf strider. It's a fat dwarf strider, dude. That's crazy. The griffin can't take off because my character's too heavy. Bop. He's stocky. He's something. He's something, all right. Look at him. Dude, me doing the jump thing with Rurikhan throwing me up. God damn, dude, this was good. But yeah, anyway, the whole point is I've always loved this game. I'm addicted to this game. I'm very biased to this game. So yes, if you say that I'm glazing, you're correct. I like the game a whole lot. Now, a couple more things in regards to Dragon's Dogma. So there's going to be multiple save files. So you're going to be able to have three save files, but these are for separate saves. So it's not like you can save different world states on the same save. No, these are for separate saves. And you'll be able to have like different pawns and all of that good stuff. This is likely not something that I intend on using. I already have my save file. I'm going to stick with that one for the purposes of having the official pawn and all of that good stuff. So yeah. They buffed Dragon's Plague, which is interesting, considering that if you're not careful with Dragon's Plague, you might just end up murdering a whole city. So do be careful with that. Careful about going to sleep. And all of a sudden your pawn just decides to go on a hobo murder rampage. But it makes the pawns become stronger. And there's also a Dragon's Plague recovery item, Dragon's Bulk Drought, will be added as means of treatment along with associate conversation event with your pawns. I would actually like to get my pawn with Dragon Plague, so that I could see what this conversation event is. That might be something that we experiment with at some point, because I do need to jump back into my save file, because my save file is like in New Game Plus and we have to go through the whole thing again. So yeah. Yeah, they have massive patch notes. I'm not going to go over all the patch notes because it's just way too much, but I am covering some of the more stuff that they've pointed out. Action adjustments with the August update. The number of custom skills you can set at once will be increased from 4 to 6. This is potentially the biggest change that we have ever seen in Dragon's Dogma, because it's always been 4 skills. 4 skills max. So now you'll be able to get 6, and this changes. Like, I understand that maybe if you haven't played Dragon's Dogma before, you might be like, well, how big of a difference is it really? It's huge. Because there's always that one skill that you want to have for, like, fun, and you can't have that skill because, like, well, I wanted to get this skill just for the fun aspect. Like, for instance, if you guys remember, let me see if I can find that short, because this was actually something that I did when I went to Capcom HQ to play the game, and I did this short. Let me just grab it real quick, see if I can find it here. Or was it? I don't do that many shorts, so it should be easy to find. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. No, not this one. This one. I wasted all of my time doing... Okay. You guys need to watch this. This is some good shenanigans. Let me just pause the music here. Like, check this out. Being the professional content creator that I am, I wasted all of my time doing dumb things like this. Like this being putting 2 orcs and a friggin' griffin on top of each other just to see what happens. The professional content creator that I am, I wasted all of my time doing dumb things like this. Bop. Bop. Or farming on top of dragons, because why not? This is the best one, though. So it's like, see, this is one of those skills that I was talking about. Like, I would love to have this skill just for fun, but it's not a skill that you're going to be using on big monsters. It really is just a type of skill that you will use whenever you're fighting something small. Right? It's like, boom! And you just send them reeling, right? And it's really cool. So, you know, the fact that we now have 6 skills allows us to focus on the fun skills as well as the useful skills, and you can just really do whatever, which is pretty cool. Then, and here they're talking about what are the main things, and the main elements that they're focusing on with this expansion is new story content, new main area challenges, which is the 12 new dungeons. And sorry, dog's real excited. You might be listening to that a little bit. But yeah, the story bit is going to be new for Forsaken Dominion, The Tale of Ruin Unfolds in the Snowy North, venture forth the long-abandoned region of Norgan. Join forces with the enigmatic heir, who seeks to unravel the secrets of the undying falling dragon, unearth and appraise forgotten relics to unlock powerful new weapons and skills that will aid you on your journey. We'll talk more about that, but like the new continent is basically an icy continent. I'm sure you guys have seen that by now. We have some Norse influences here. This just straight up looks like one of the Vikings from friggin' Skyrim. We have the big one of the drakes that they're fighting here, and then the big undead dragon that you're going to be facing off in the end, which this will likely be connected to the Dark Arisen. So there's an Arisen that shows up in a throne at some point throughout the trailer. I'm pretty sure that that would be the Arisen that is connected to this dragon, and they've fumbled something about the cycle with these, and the dragon just ends up like that. Might even be some call-outs to the Dragon. If you guys remember Dragon from the original Dragon's Dogma, which was a dragon that had to be fought asynchronously by the community, so multiple people had to go and fight it in order to reduce the HP of that dragon. It was an interesting time. It was most definitely an interesting time, so we'll see. Supposedly this one should be fairly hard. Now, how is she connected to this? Maybe she was the original pawn, like maybe she was the main pawn of the Dark Arisen, although because there's a lot of implications here, and I'm not the biggest lore buff when it comes to Dragon's Dogma, but if you guys remember at the ending of the original Dragon's Dogma, when you go and you face off against the Seneschal whatever in the sky and all of that, what ends up happening is you give your, I mean, it depends on the choices that you end up making in the end, but I remember that the first time that I finished the game, what ended up happening is I gave my soul to my pawn or something and imbued my pawn with free will, and so you kind of become your pawn in a way, and I'm wondering if that's what happened here. So Air was potentially a pawn before, but she went through, and then she became a pawn with free will because maybe the other Arisen sacrificed something so that she would have free will, and she therefore absolutely needs to take on the dragon so that the other Arisen can be free from the cycle or something. I'm not exactly sure if that is what happens, by the way. This is just like my theories as to why Air feels like she has to kill this specific dragon. We will see if that is what happens or not, but yes, I think she's a pawn too. Yeah, I think she's a pawn, but I think she's one of those pawns that got free will because of her Arisen. That would be what I would expect. But again, it's just theories, and it's fun to speculate on these types of things. That's why I like it. They give you a bit of an introduction to the story. The northern region of Norgan, once thriving land, torn asunder by calamity. Deep within this forsaken land, a cursed dragon's heart begins to beat again, reanimating its lifeless corpse. I think it's interesting that they say a cursed dragon heart begins to beat again, when if you go and you look at some of the promotional material, they specifically say this dragon has no heart. So it's like, wait, does it have a heart? Does it not have a heart? How's its heart beating if it doesn't have a heart? But you get the gist of it. Reanimating its lifeless corpse. As it awakens, it lets out a roar that strikes fear across the land. I wonder if this is connected to the fact that we killed the other dragon. We killed the actual Royce dragon with Godsbane. I wonder if that is what causes this dragon to reanimate. Like maybe the failed loop on this dragon is somehow connected to the cycle of the other dragon. Not 100% sure. Not a big lore buff, but I do like speculating on it. I find it interesting. Almost as if in response to the call, another Arisen appears. When their paths ultimately converge, a darkness beyond reason shall be unleashed. So now there's two Arisens in the world. Even though, are we an Arisen? Are we considered an Arisen anymore? Because we don't have a dragon, technically speaking. This is another apocalyptic tale hidden beneath the journey to slay the Royce dragon. And there's been a lot of discussion about this this term being used here, Royce dragon, because there's that one character that supposedly summons like an undead dragon, calls it the Royce dragon. It's either been a mistranslation or bro is just hallucinating on some mushrooms or something like that, because obviously the lesser dragon that he summons is not the original Royce dragon, like the most important dragon. That's not the dragon he summons. But, there's like some shenanigans going on in there. Just at this point, I think Gaijiner might be able to confirm it. I don't know if you looked into it. But The Royce dragon here is the actual dragon. The Royce dragon mentioned at some point throughout the story of Dragon's Dogma 2 by the dude who summons this undead-looking creature. That's not an actual Royce dragon, and that's like a mistranslation or something like that. But, yeah. Behold the fallen dragon, a second dragon. See what I mean? Like, look, heartless. Wait. What? What do you mean heartless? It specifically says here, cursed dragon's heart begins to beat again. Second dragon, heartless. And wandering the land as a lifeless corpse is set to bring about ruin and destruction, straying from the order that governs all things. And then you ally Air. Apart from her determination to hunt the fallen dragon, everything else about her remains shrouded in mystery. Which, to be honest, the fact that everything else about this character remains shrouded in mystery only serves to reinforce my theory that she is likely a pawn that was given free will by her master somehow. And maybe even the way in which he was able to imbue his pawn with free will, maybe that's what caused the dragon to become the way that it did. So, you know, we'll see. What if Air has the dragon's heart? She might. She might have the dragon's heart. We don't know. So I have a little bit more of the video here, and the reason I have that is because I wanted to show you guys a couple of interesting things. So this time around, the weapons are going to be able to give you special skills. This is not something that is entirely new, as if I'm not mistaken, in the original Dark Arisen, the thing that would give you improved skills would be rings. But this time around, those skills are going to be attached to weapons. And there's a lot to discuss when it comes to that. So we're also going to be getting new skills and new moves. Like, I don't know if this is a new skill, like the bicycle kick that he just did right there. Might be. Not 100% sure. There's also the one with the archer, where he kind of like jumps backwards, uses the monster as a footstool, jumps up, throws the arrow down. I also think that that's new. But yeah, this is one of the new things, and one of the things is you're going to be looting these. Spoils, plastron. Now, this is something that we already did in the original Dark Arisen. There might be some people that haven't done it. But basically, this is almost like a gacha. So you're going to be purifying these things, and then you're going to be getting different weapons, different armors, different stuff. And hopefully you'll get the ones for the class that you want, because it's pretty much random, if I remember correctly. But this time, the weapons themselves are going to have improved skills, like they actually show us one in here. There's a bow, a magic archer bow. So like right here, spoils level 3, ancient bow staff. And this one comes with fortifying arrows, sagittate whiteout, and blighting strike. So supposedly this will improve these specific skills to like a next level. So, for instance, the way that it worked in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is you would have these rings, and so let's say, because the ones that I was looking for were the ones for my pawn was a mage at the time. So let's say your pawn has like the highest level of bolide, which is like the big meteor shower thing, which was my jam. That's what I like doing, big meteor showers with my pawn. You could get a ring that would increase the power level of that thing, and it would allow you to like charge it one more level or something like that. And that would just be like an apocalyptic level bolide. So it's kind of like the vibe that I'm getting off of these skills. Now the question is, if I'm not mistaken, in Dark Arisen, all of these weapons had like preset things. So if you would get the fire sword, you would have the fire sword. It was the one sword, it was always the same stats, always the same thing. But I'm wondering if in this Dark Arisen, these things are going to be random. So the skills that you can get in them are maybe not necessarily tied to the weapon itself, but you maybe roll this weapon with different skills. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. It was not the case for Dark Arisen. Pretty much most things, as far as I can remember, were set in stone. So I don't know. But it is something that might happen, so we'll see. Whether you prefer it or not. Me personally, I prefer set in stone. I don't like too much randomness. So if I could get items to be more static, I would prefer that. But I know that a lot of people prefer the randomness. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, that's the other thing that I wanted to show you guys in regards to Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. Coming out on the 9th of October. Super excited for it. And yeah, I can't wait to jump in. The rings could roll many combinations of skills. Okay, so the rings were random. So if the rings were random, most likely the weapons are also going to be random in this. I don't remember if the rings were random or not, but if they were, like you're saying, then yes, most likely the weapons might be random as well. Gonna be a long grind to get the perfect weapon. Most likely. Bro, I didn't even talk about the 12 dungeons that you're going to be getting. You're also going to be getting 12 dungeons, which is what they say here as new main area challenges. You're also going to be getting those. There's going to be these 12 dungeons. Whoops. Shut up! Wow, I love how I wasn't able to pause the video. It's just like, yep, that video is running now. It is what it is. It might be because of the zoom. No, can't pause this video. But yeah, there's these dungeons that you'll be able to do. There's going to be 12 of them throughout the world. I believe they've already been found from people using like no-clip mods and stuff like that. So they already found the 12 entrances. But I think it'll be more interesting to just find those out organically by playing through the game. Hey, Yonko Kills, what's up? You will watch this video and inflate our viewing numbers. Sure. Hopefully the desert area gets some love. It was heavily underdeveloped in the base game. I always liked doing the elevators thing and then having to fight during the elevator sections, even though sometimes that could go horribly wrong. But it was always interesting. You know, you're going through the gondola, and then suddenly it's like, oh shit, there's a dragon. Uh-oh. We need something like Bitter Black Isle. I mean, that's what Norgon's going to be, except Norgon's going to be more open, so it's not going to be like a dungeon that you just keep delving into. I'm confused, are the dungeons redoable or are they one-time things? We don't know. At this point, we don't know. I would assume they're redoable because I would assume there's also going to be the loot that you get. I'm assuming that you're also going to be, you know, the special spoils and stuff. I'm assuming you're also going to be able to get those on the dungeons in the world rather than just in the continent of Norgan. And so it makes sense for you to run those dungeons multiple times to get the stuff. Like, even if you think back to what was it called? Everfall? Was it Everfall? You know, the place where you'd be falling down, then you'd go to one of the edges. You could like repeat those to get the different stuff, if I remember correctly. So yeah. I've never had a successful gondola run. Yeah, if those dungeons are like the Everfall, the treasure chest will be RNG. Don't forget your Dragon's Bane. Oh, right. No, you can't use the 3 saves for reload because it'll be like 3 different characters. But yes, you want to bring the Dragon's Bane, and then if you don't get what you want, you just off yourself. Reload. What's going to happen for those that are in the end game? Will we be able to go back without starting New Game Plus? I have no idea. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to see if I could get more news in regards to, you know, in regards to what is the linking point to the expansion. I suspect that, like somebody said in my comment section, that as long as you can get to Vermund, you'll be able to go to Norgan, which would make sense because I think that was kind of the same thing for Bitter Black Isle. You could go to Bitter Black Isle, like, right from the beginning. As far as I saw, armor from the relics / spoils also has extra effects. By extra effects, you mean like passive skills and stuff like that? I completely skipped the Unmoored World because I didn't pay attention. Yeah, I think a lot of people never even went to the Unmoored World. But the Unmoored World is so weird the way that ended up working out, because you had the whole thing where you can't go to sleep. I think I did the entirety of the Unmoored World without sleeping, or maybe I slept like once. I was like, can't go to sleep, got to do it all in one go. It was a little bit weird. It was odd. And then on top of it, it's like you can't repeat the fights in the Unmoored World. And I was like, that was the best part of the Unmoored World, was like the fights. The big boss fights that you had to go and do. Those were awesome. Why were these like not repeatable, farmable to get more gear? It was kind of weird. I'm just confused because we're getting Norgan, plus we're getting the dungeons. Will the dungeon loot be that much better than base game loot? And will it stack up against Norgan loot? I think that the dungeon loot will be on par with Norgan loot. That would be my prediction. Because basically the idea is that they're trying to add variety to the game. So you have the 12 dungeons so that you have stuff to do in the actual open world. And then you'll probably also have new dungeons in Norgan as well. But you have the whole continent of Norgan plus dungeons there as well. Yeah, New Game Plus should get an increase in difficulty. I'm fairly certain that in August, when I jump back into the game, we're just going to maul everything. Because, like, I remember when I went back and I was checking, okay, let's see if the monsters are tougher. It's like, nope. So you basically can just go in there and start one-shotting drakes in New Game Plus, and you're just like, oh. Feels like somebody should have thought about this. Like, because I instantly didn't feel like playing a New Game Plus because there was no challenge. You have to go through a significant amount of hours where there's simply no challenge. You just go up to anything, you're just like, bop, dead, bop, dead. But, like, straight up one-shotting most things. Everything is just squishy. Yeah, it is. Let me just get my apple and then we'll continue. Give me a minute, guys. If you guys are enjoying the stream, do hit the like button. Helps out a lot. Next up, we're probably going to check out this video from Gaijin because I'm curious. But basically, Gaijin is not happy about the Stories 3 DLC. I've seen some of his takes on Twitter. I'm assuming he'll be explaining that in this video, so I want to check that out to see what's happening. I'll be right back. Capcom's been on a generational run. They needed one flop, and this was it. I liked it. How many copies did it sell? It gained an average it gained like 1,000 players in the last 30 days. I wonder why. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but it's so evil. Wait, what? Oh no. That's rough. There's an interview released with Thomas. I want to check that out. Did you say it's posted on their channel? I don't see anything. Which? Oh, you. Oh, it's not a video. The hell? That's a big one. Anyway, it says here Dragon's Dogma 2 sold over 4 million copies worldwide across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Let me see, what was the budget? Do we know? 70 million. Let's say they make 30 bucks of profit off of, let's say that they're getting 30 bucks off of every sale that they've had so far, on average. They made back cost. It was profitable. They still made probably more, but like minimum they made like 50 million profit if the numbers are to be believed. I've seen stuff from those guys, Yonko, yeah. Profit more than Concord. I mean, but let's be real. How the fuck do you spend $400 million on a hero shooter? Well, let's just actually be real. What the fuck were you doing, bro? Rurikhan, would you recommend hopping on to Dragon's Dogma 2 now for the first time? Wait for the expansion. Wait for the August update. I'd wait for the August update. And then you can jump in and you'll start playing. And then just like, don't play like super fast. Take your time with it. Because then by the time, you know, you've got a good footing. You don't even have to finish the game. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't recommend going into the Unmoored World, which is kind of like very much late game. I wouldn't even recommend going to the Unmoored World because I don't know how that might section off access to the DLC. The Unmoored World is after some big event that happens in Batal. I forget exactly what the event was. But yeah, it's like there's this big event, then everything just goes to shit. When you fly to the volcano? Okay, there you go. I think I screwed myself over. Just complete the Unmoored World, go to New Game Plus. And then do the DLC in New Game Plus. They announced 4 million copies when the game was still $59.99. So most likely my profit margins are lower than what they've actually made. But that was the whole point, was to see like, even at this low price, would they have made profit? They would. So therefore, they probably made a lot more than 50 million of just profit from Dragon's Dogma, which is good. I think the DLC area will need some sort of loading screen to go there and won't relate to the main game's event. Yeah, but like, are they going to justify? Because you have to understand, at the end of the day, Dragon's Dogma 2 is meant to be an incredibly immersive game. Are you going to justify jumping from the Unmoored World into the DLC? It'll be weird. I think it'll be weird. But I could be wrong. Not to mention, aren't there a couple of areas of the game that are straight up walled off? I seem to remember a couple of areas of the game were straight up walled off. You wouldn't be able to go back there when you are in the Unmoored World. Rurikhan, can you please react to a video called The Rise of the Gunlines? Would love to see a reaction. With a name like that, it wouldn't surprise me if I had already seen it. Ugh. Oh, it's by The Soulless Dusk. Is this the one? Well, before we do that, though, I want to see about this. So, Gadget's not happy about the DLC of Monster Hunter Stories 3. I haven't seen too much about it. I was not a big fan of the fact that they sectioned off a companion quest, which didn't really seem like it'd make a lot of sense. And after what we've seen during the showcase, that tells us that, like, you know, Naviru is going to show up and Naviru is, like, very important to that part. It just kind of reinforces that I didn't really like that choice that they've made. But then on top of it, they put Nergigante towards the end and everybody gets super excited. It's like, but you can't have him as a monster. And you're like, wait, what's the point then? Kind of weird. But apparently there's a lot of other things that are problematic with the DLC. Look, the thing is, when it comes to this DLC, I just feel like they wanted to do Stories 3 as not a traditional title update game like they did with Stories 2, which is fine. But they still wanted to have some type of like a little bump in revenue somewhere along the way, and that's where the Rudy DLC came in. And I just found that to be, I don't know, it was weird. It's a weird way in which they did it, so I wasn't too happy about it. But let's hear it from Gaijin. Let me just pause the music here.
Guys, this is Gaijin Hunter. I don't want to make this video, but I love Monster Hunter Stories as a series, and I feel the need to address the gamut in the room. The Royal Monster Update and the Rudy Side Story DLC Update. The side story for Rudy, which I feel was unnecessarily relegated to paid DLC, was enjoyable enough, but it's hard to say that 4 chapters of mostly reading and no unique gameplay like the other side stories, and a battle—
Wait, so it's just like the other side stories? Because, like, the side stories were fun. You get to know a little bit more about the characters and whatnot, but yeah, I don't think that justifies having its own DLC. It actually just reinforces what I said in the beginning when they announced this.
4 chapters of mostly reading and no unique gameplay like the other side stories, and a battle against Nergigante at the end is worth the price tag. You do unlock 2 special equipment skills for your rider, the Deadeye Wrath of Power, which gives you a massive boost to your kinship gauge buildup both in general and when you land a critical or head-to-head, and
grants the strength of Deadeye Ratha, who once fought alongside a legendary feline. Kinship gauge fills faster. Winning a head-to-head landing critical hit makes it fill even faster. So you just get loads of kinship gauge. That's good.
And the Raised Wing Wrath of Power, which increases the amount of damage you take, but gives you a massive plus 100 attack power and 30%
And this is for people that want to style and murder things.
critical rate, as well as a single item which helps you break parts. There's no Nergigante gear, he's not available as a Monstie, most likely I think due to the fact that people would have been rightfully upset with that being—
I don't want to be potentially spoiled. I don't think that Gaijin's going to give off spoilers. And, like, the Nergigante thing, they fucking showed it in the showcase. They just showed it.
push to paid DLC. What I was looking forward to though was the Royal Monster Update. Stories 1 had an excellent endgame with the tower, and Stories 2 had the Elder Layer, which gave us countless hours of fun, new high-ranked monsters to fight and gear to craft, a secret boss, and then they even supported the title with updates that added in the deviants to both fight and get as monsties. Stories 3, at least at this stage in time, has done none of that, and I'm afraid what we're seeing is the team's budget cut from under them, because honestly, these things all existed in previous games, so I don't know why it's not here.
I mean, we can very quickly see why it's not here. Yeah, it's rough. Only 2 million copies? Can't be doing title updates on a game that only sold 2 million copies. I mean, we can talk about it all we want, but at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. Listen, at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. We can all love these games, which I know a lot of us do, but if it only sells 2 million copies, is rough. Like, look at how much did this one sell? It hasn't even sold 1 million. It hasn't even reached 1 million copies. That is crazy. That is crazy. An amazing game, by the way. Game that, like, puts Pokemon to shame. Doesn't break 1 million copies. It's like, if you want to know why we're not getting title updates, that's why. It's like, look, at the end of the day, we can be here, the game deserves it, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, it does. You're right. It absolutely does. It deserves all of that support. Yes, you are correct. Who's going to pay the people that are developing it, though? It's just that simple. Now, don't trust that summary. Lifetime sales of Wings of Ruin surpassed 2 million units ahead of its 3-year anniversary. It's literally here. It's like, look, it's rough. It's rough. But at the end of the day, the reality is, for whatever reason, it does not have the popularity of a Pokemon game, which is weird when you think about it, because it's objectively better than Pokemon. I fucking said it, bro. And you can quote me. And this is not telling the Pokemon people to get mad or whatever. It's like, look, you guys play whatever the hell you want. This game's better than Pokemon. It's just that simple. Does not have an anime. It is a different game, though. I mean, it's not that different. It's a turn-based game. I mean, I guess the difference is in here your... What do you call them in Pokemon? Your trainer. Your trainer in Pokemon doesn't attack, and in here it does. Turn-based and collection is not the same. I mean, they're both collecting games. I don't know. Either way, it's like, to me, this is just straight up better. But it doesn't matter, because if people don't buy it, it is what it is. I think the biggest issue is that the genre crossover is not as much as one would expect. So, like, not everybody that plays Monster Hunter is going to like Monster Hunter Stories, because it is a vastly different experience. And so the crossover isn't there. That would be what I would expect. Yeah, like Noel Bautista is saying, love Stories 3, but I think that most of the fans of Monster Hunter gameplay does not overlap with that of Stories, as well as in aesthetics. I think that aesthetics is not the problem. Because if anything, the aesthetics of Stories is actually closer to the aesthetics of old school Monster Hunter games than modern Monster Hunter games. It just looks more cartoony because the colors are more vibrant, but that's about it.
So I don't know why it's not here. What we do get is this. You have to fight the royal version of the last boss, which, let's be honest, is just a drag, as it's just a health sponge and spam to AoEs, and isn't that fun of a fight. Once you do defeat it, the game tells you that royal monsters will now appear in the fields. Great! High-ranked monsters to fight and upgrade gear with. Wrong.
Tilted Glory Gaming, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat, appreciate support. Thank you. Honestly, the game is great, but no one wants to do the rock, paper, scissors. They need to move away from it to succeed. I mean, Pokemon is also kind of rock, paper, scissors. Like, fire beats grass. Grass beats water? I forget. Or earth or something? Earth beats water? I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Fields. Great! High-ranked monsters to fight and upgrade gear with. Wrong. The royal monsters are just a royal pain in the butt because they just have their stats inflated. There's nothing new to their behavior or fights that I can tell. They offer no new item drops, no gear, no weapons, nothing.
That kind of sucks because, like, when we got more juiced up monsters, like, I don't think it was Deviants, but there were a couple of monsters that actually changed their attack patterns in Stories 2. Definitely feels like Stories 2 got a lot more support in this regard.
I guess just a sense of satisfaction. The game for some insane reason fails to explain the new content, so alas it falls to the community to do so. What you do unlock is the ability to craft 6 high-rank armor sets, 1 for each element. What we have is Mizutsune, Gravios, Zinogre, Barioth, Raidou, and Rathalos. That's a bit disappointing, but at least we have goals to aim towards and reasons to fight the stronger royal monsters, right? Nope. The only new item used to upgrade to these much stronger armors is a commendation. But surely those drop randomly.
Okay, so if you are not even motivated to fight the royal monsters to craft the better armor, somebody made a mistake here. Like, somebody made a mistake. Straight up. They missed the mark. Because, like, that's the whole point. You fight the strong monster to get his armor. You fight the stronger monster to get better version of his armor. That's the whole point.
From the royal monsters, right? Nope. The only way to get commendations is to beat the royal versions of the 9 invasive monsters or the elder dragons.
So it's not connected to the actual armor at all, because he was showing that it was a Rathalos armor. So the monster that you are fighting is not connected to the armor at all. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
Honestly, if you are strong enough to beat these guys, then the actual royal monsters on the field are already weaker. So why did they lock away these final limited upgrades to just fighting the same monsters over and over again? It's kind of mind-baffling. I do think most will probably just find overpowering the invasive Yangaruga using a water monster and the egg skill Crash Wave, or like a dragon monster with the egg skill Dragonfeller is going to be the easiest method, but that also takes away the motivation to even try to take on the other 8 evasive monsters. And if you bought the DLC, there is the royal version of Nergigante, but again, no gear, items, or rewards. I am happy to say that they added in one new high rank weapon for each element for each weapon type, but again, doesn't use royal monster parts. It's just the same commendations all over again.
So the
What makes this so
whole
frustrating-
end game system is attached to the invasive monsters? I kind of feel like that's such a terrible design decision, because I don't even remember engaging with the invasive monsters beyond what I had to. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the invasive mechanic, as in, the invasive mechanic of like, oh, you figure out the puzzle, you do the thing. That was fun, sure. But then after that, going back and fighting them when they're just like giga voided out. I don't know. I didn't find that particular part of it super appealing.
Is that it was so easy to fix. The high rank gear and weapons don't have new models or anything, so why not just add them for all the monsters? Just add a plus and, change the stats. My guess is that they had their development budget taken away from them. Why else would they release it earlier than planned? Have everything tied to just one item that only drops from a few select monsters? Why else is Nergigante not a mount despite being so in the previous game? Why are deviants available as monsters but not to battle? Why do they have the infuriating, please load your save game and it'll place you right before the final battle of the boss? Again, for unlocking the royal monsters, no one likes that type of flow. And why can we still not remove Ratha from our party, basically eliminating one of the slots that we have to play with?
Wait. That's right, I forgot. You still can't remove Ratha. I'd forgotten all about that. Oh no, dude. I forgot that, because we did finish it and then we went back and I was like, wait, you still can't remove Ratha even after you finish the game? This doesn't make any sense. Oh God, no. Why? They need to give Rathalos a rest. It's not about giving Rathalos a rest. Like, I actually don't have a problem playing with Rathalos throughout your whole playthrough, even though I think you should not be forced to playing
If only
Rathalos
I could be
throughout
so
the whole
grossly
thing.
incandescent.
Exion, thank you very much for becoming grossly incandescent. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. I don't think that you should. I don't have a big issue with having to play Rathalos on your first playthrough, but I don't think you should have to do that. I think that, there are certain missions where you need to have Rathalos for story reasons, and then you can go like, okay, for this mission, equip Ratha, and they don't let you start the mission until you equip Ratha. I think that would be fine, and that would have been a better way of doing things. So it's like, okay, we need you to have Ratha here for story reasons, so bring Ratha along for this one. Like, for instance, the first time you fight Arkveld, you need Ratha for the big fireball to stop Arkveld in his tracks, so you could go like, okay, for this mission, you need to have Ratha, okay? And it's like, all right, fine. We'll bring Wrath out for this mission specifically. Boom. But yeah, having him still be mandatory at this point is crazy.
With even if they did nothing to the royal monsters and they are just buffed as they are now, at least if the gear system was there, it would still be a fun challenge and have progression, but instead they just did nothing with it. I don't understand. At this point, unless they add a new DLC to the game, which of course I want them to do, I think my times with Stories 3 is done. I love the game, the battle system is the best in all of the Stories games, and the overall experience was just great up until the end of the game. With no endgame loop, a lackluster finale, and now this stripped down, half-assed update with royal monsters, I feel that they are giving it a bittersweet goodbye. I still highly recommend the game, but at this point I think it's best to just keep the fond memories of the game alive and just leave it instead of wallowing in the frustration at the lack of what could have been. Thank you for the good times, Monster Hunter Stories 3. You deserved a better finish, but I love you all the same.
Guys, do make sure to check out the original video from Gaijin Hunter. I'm going to link it right there in both chats. And I'm going to go get my coffee. While you guys go in there, hit the like button, all of that jazz. Kind of sucks that, like, this is how it ended. But to me, I felt like when I was done with the story, I felt this was awesome. I really, really enjoyed the game. I think the game was awesome as it was. Did not necessarily need additional DLC. I did not like the way that they did the DLC for Rudy. I haven't even played it yet. I do have it on my save file, so I might check it out at some point. If I'm might even stream it, whatever. But it's like I'm not chomping at the bit to go hunt invasive monsters for commendations. Doesn't seem like a fun time. Like I'd rather go fight royal monsters for materials to craft their armors, which seems like it would be way more fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go get my coffee. I'll be right back, team. Bada bing, bada boom. Hells yeah, brother. Hells to the yeah. Okay. So, next up on the docket, I wanted to check out. Wait, where was it? Oh yeah, I have like the watch later thing. What? There we go. So there's this game that a lot of people have been asking me to check out. I guess we'll look at it now. I've already seen it. I've already seen gameplay footage of it and whatnot. But I guess we can talk about it. This monster fantasy game. Look at Kingsword trailer. Fuck is this?
Does your mother think that you are a failure?
Wait. What the fuck? What's this about my mother? Excuse me? What the fuck is going on?
Does your mother think that you are a failure? Is the glorious stupidity of the current monarch carrying the races of men to extinction? Maybe it's time for you to do something about it and prove to your mother you are not useless. The King's Ward! A mass.
Wait a minute.
Your mother, you are not.
Bro. Bro. What is this level of trauma that is happening on screen right now? You're useless. We never should have adopted you. What the fuck? That goes in pretty fucking hard, dude.
Useless. The King's Ward! A massive open-world role-playing game where you can become whatever you want. A hypocritical paladin who reanimates zombies in combat? Sure!
Hypocritical paladin that reanimates zombies in combat. Master at Arms seems like it'd be fun.
Critical paladin who reanimates zombies in combat? Sure! A stealthy archer wearing 60 tons of iron armor? Why not? Don't like combat? Never mind! Ignore the impending doom entirely and dedicate yourself to mining, crafting, and trading. Meet weird NPCs. Navigate overly dramatic family dynamics. And don't forget to roll, roll, and roll, like in all the popular RPGs. The King's Ward! Made just for fun by a small indie studio. No microtransactions. Free updates. Wishlist now on Steam.
That's pretty funny. Do they have a demo? I think it said there they have a demo.
Does your mother think that you are a failure?
I love how a trailer just starts. Does your mother think you're a failure? It's like, what the fuck? That cuts so deep, bro. How did you know? Yes, she does. What do you mean? Are you inside my room right now? What the fuck? Oh my god. Is it downloading or not? Yeah, it is. Okay. I wouldn't steer you wrong. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. Were you going to check out Pal World 1.0? Probably not. Isn't that like in September or October? Like there's no bonus things in September or October, okay? Those months don't exist. October? Yeah, I would rather play No Rest for the Wicked. So, this is the game that people have been wanting me to check out. I think Ark even already has made a video on this. I'm not 100% sure. This game's called Monster Fantasy. Oh no. Oh no! YouTube, please. YouTube, stop. They become Pokemans. That armor is just straight up Nargacuga with the Odogron mask on the side. Like, just blatantly. Like, just straight up. Zero fucks given. I will give them this. They have something that very few games have, and you gotta respect that. That's this. Watch. Shield top. Wait, I didn't even notice it. Look at that move. Bro, you stripped it. Bro. Okay, that is just so fucking blatant, okay? I hadn't noticed that specific thing, but wait. We got to talk about this. Now, wait a minute. Yeah, Wada has never seen this before in his life. Never, not the once. No, but wait, there was one here. There was one here. Or is it? Come on. Show the sword guy doing his thing. I think it's after this, right? Yeah, that right there, that move, like that is straight up Charge Blade. Fairly blatant, but you could argue, oh, so what? Charge Blade now owns fucking spinning back? Like, that's just it? They just own that? It's like, okay, fine. But like, bro, this one? No, dude, no. The fucking... the file discharge with the shields? No, bro, that does not, no, nobody has ever thought about that because it's a very inefficient move to do with a traditional shield. Nobody would ever do that because it's fucking stupid. That is just straight up, like, no ifs, ands, or buts. That is just, yep, we're just gonna steal the sword and shield, the Charge Blade moveset. We give 0 fucks, okay? 0 fucks we're given. Like, yeah, the one where he does the thing with the shield like this, yeah, we take that one. But why? I don't know. It looks fucking cool. Oh my god, dude, that is so blatant. I will say, throwing of the shield, like, you get points for that one. You get points for that one in my book. Like, look at that. That's badass. You throw the shield spins around and all of that shit. That's cool. I like that. I support that a lot. But like the just ripping up of the Charge Blade, that's dumb. Why would you do this? And the bow is also pretty much just like, it's blatant. Because like I've seen longer gameplay of this. The bow is also very much blatant. The one I feel like they probably, the one that they disguise the most, the one where they're like, okay, we really need to change these ones, is the longsword, because the longsword's like the most popular weapon in the game. So they're like, okay, we can't just one-to-one copy this one because it's way too popular. We one-to-one copy the Charge Blade. Even the bow, I feel like, is going to be very blatant. But yeah, it's like, so the thing about this game is that it has that shotgun approach to, oops. Okay. The thing about this game is that it has that shotgun approach to development, which is kind of like, you know, we're going to do everything. So we're going to have monster hunting. We're going to have survival elements. Fuck it. We're going to make a Pokemon game because why not? You know? It's that type of development approach, which I feel like it actually ends up working out because that way you can kind of like pull niches from people that enjoy Monster Hunter mixed with niches that enjoy survival games, which there's tons of people that enjoy survival games. I believe that in this game, you can even not hunt if you want to, and you can send out like NPCs to do the hunting for you, and you can focus on becoming more of a crafter, gatherer type of thing. But, yeah, it's like, this is not for me. The game is not for me, but I find it to be very blatant the way that they just copied stuff. Like, for instance, this big fucking squirrel looking thing, it's a Wudwud. It's straight up a Wudwud. And I know it's a Wudwud because I've never seen anything that looks like a Wudwud in other video games. Like, if you think about it, have you ever seen stuff that looks like Wudwuds? Like, look at this thing. Had you ever seen something like a Wudwud? And maybe I haven't been playing a lot of games. I don't know. Maybe that's what is up. But like, I haven't really seen a whole lot of Wudwuds before doing Monster Hunter Wilds. That was just not a thing. I was trying to find one where... Okay, for some reason it's mixing up with other stuff. Let's just go to this. Monster Hunter Wilds, Wudwuds. I was trying to find one where they have like their mouth open, or the ones with that don't have hats and shit. But yeah, it's like, it's a Wudwud. It's straight up a Wudwud. If you look at this, and you look at this, it's a Wudwud. Star Wars? What, an Ewok? Bro. You are crazy! You're insane! The fuck you mean? Look at... Bro, an Ewok? What? No! Woodwoods don't look like Ewoks! Not at all! What the fuck? That were the other ones. What were they called? I forget what they were called. The ones that I fucking hated from The Last Jedi. Cute. If I name it Cute Animal Last Jedi, I will bring it up for sure. Yeah, these fucking things. The porgs. I fucking hated these, by the way. I hated them. Because it's like, there are funny moments in Star Wars. It's not meant to be a comedy. And The Last Jedi was a fucking comedy. And it was these fucking porgs that did it too. These fucking birds. I'd kill them. I'd kill every last one of them. I would extinguish this creature, okay? Absolutely. Wouldn't even think twice about it. If there was a button that said, kill this creature, but I would just like press the button before reading the but. Like, boom. Kill it. Murder it. Straight up, in cold blood, I would. Absolutely. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's just straight up a wood, right? It's that simple. Now, I don't play longsword. The moves from the longsword didn't really seem as blatant, with the exception of the one where he kind of like jumps backwards. I think that's like the dodge when you're in red gauge or something. I don't know. Then we have the Griffin from Dragon's Dogma. And then we have Bo, which is just straight up just like Bo. If you like, you even see the way that he like spins around. It's just like 1-to-1. It's straight up 1-to-1 with a lot of its skills. Okay. With a couple of things changed here and there. So that's like, it's legally distinct Bo. Not even legally distinct, because this shit is just, and that is Magic Archer. Like, it's like, it is. Like, look, what is this? Oh, it's Magic Archer. Huh. Let me actually see here. If we just go here and we look at Magic Archer. What the? No, wait, it's Magic Archer like this, right? Yeah. Oh, I think that this one straight up shows it. Wonder if Infinite Cringe shows us some of the... Okay, so this is just straight... Yeah. Look at it! Look at how blatant this shit is, dude. Look. Look. Here's Magic Archer. And then here's... Wait, where's the video? Oh, and then here's their version. It's the same thing. It's just the same fucking thing. Oh my God, that's funny. So it's just a mixture of Monster Hunter with Dragon's Dogma. As a matter of fact, like I think they have some magic combat in here. And if you think about it, I want you guys to think real hard. Newton next door, thank you very much for the soul tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed these. But if you guys think about it, which game have you ever seen magicians cast and hover mid-cast? I want you to think about it. Think about it. Which game have you seen a wizard or a sorcerer actually gliding mid-cast in the air while they're casting? I wonder which game that is. No takers? Like, it's straight up Dragon's Dogma. It's just, they pushed up the speed to 11. That's pretty much it. It's just straight up Dragon's Dogma. So very much like I said, it is Giga inspired and also Giga ripped off in terms of Monster Hunter assets, in terms of animations and all of that stuff. It is also the same thing for Dragon's Dogma, as we see here, the Griffin, which is, there's a million different ways to depict a Griffin. This is just the Dragon's Dogma one. that goes kind of like this. I mean, then again, this is also the most traditional one, but the problem is with all of the other stuff that they're doing, it becomes very hard to ignore, right? The issue with all the AI in this game is that rips from other games is the game. Wait, so they use a bunch of AI in this? Is that what you guys are saying? Monster Fantasy AI use. AI is used to power dynamic real-time conversations. Yeah, that's what they say. They don't... Conversation AI is exploratory. You can choose to interact with the AI. The thing is, the only disclaimer that they're doing is that this is for NPC dialogue. Developers describe the we have carefully crafted a set of NPC dialogue without the use of AI. At the same time, we can experimenting with additional features powered by AI, large language models allowing players to freely converse with their favorite NPCs. I used this feature in Where Winds Meet, and it was fucking miserable, and it felt worthless. Where Winds Meet had this feature for NPCs. You can have conversations with them. It's fucking worthless. Because it's just like, it's meaningless. It doesn't advance anything, doesn't change anything. It's whatever. What is that scythe weapon? I don't know. But yeah, it's like, so they rip off a ton of like assets from Dragon's Dogma, Monster Hunter, and then they do a bunch of like survival elements and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it's like, it's not for me. And if you want to play it, go right ahead. You know, people should be free to do whatever the hell they want. But I do feel like the blatant theft of assets is just way too brutal, particularly when it comes to their sword and shield. That's just basically the charge blade with a couple of different things. Their bow is just basically the bow, but with Dragon's Dogma stuff included. And their katana, I haven't really looked too much into it, so I don't know how how close it is to longsword. Seems like they're mixing in some demon mode from Dual Blades, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Again, I'm not super familiar with longsword moves, so I wouldn't be able to identify them anyway. It looks like it's got some slashes that it does. This one doesn't seem as blatantly copied. Maybe it's copied from other games or something, but yeah. So you're saying Where Winds Meet was worthless? No, I'm saying the dialogue in NPCs, the LLM shit that they put in Where Winds Meet was worthless. The game itself is fine if you like those types of games. But yeah, so my opinion on this is it's not for me. If you enjoy it, I hope you enjoy it a bunch. I think that the asset theft is through the fucking roof. Also, I'll link you guys to this video. This is a channel that I've seen a couple of times that does gameplay stuff, and it's very useful. So I appreciate them, and I'll link the video to you guys. But yeah, Monster Fantasy is just straight up not for me. I'm not interested. Any interest in playing Dragon's Dogma 1 before Dragon's Dogma 2's DLC? I've played Dragon's Dogma 1 through to completion 5 times, 6 times. I don't know. I've lost count. But it's like I've played through Dragon's Dogma 1 like a bunch of times. I'm happy. If you never played Dragon's Dogma 1, then, I mean, you can. You don't have to. Because, like, the most fun part of Dragon's Dogma 1 is still going to be Bitter Black Isle. Bitter Black Isle. I mean, there are some quests that are still really fun in the original game, in the base game, I mean. But Bitter Black Isle is where you'll actually enjoy stuff a lot more. Longsword they can have. We don't care about Longsword here in this channel. Nah, I'm not going to, like, especially this year because there's so much stuff to play. Characters are more memorable than Dragon's Dogma 2 story-wise. I think there's also less characters. That might be why also they're more memorable. One of the things that frustrated me in Dragon's Dogma 2 is I couldn't kill the queen. She just kind of like respawns. Because you guys remember what we did? If you guys didn't watch my playthrough of Dragon's Dogma 2, you guys missed out. But there was a time where we're like, okay, we've done everything we needed to do with the queen, so we don't actually need her anymore. So I just went up into the castle, grabbed her, and then went outside and yeeted her into the ocean. It's like, the fuck out of here. Nobody likes you. Are you interested in Echoes of Minecraft? Nope. Because usually the Sword Art Online games, while they can be fun, they're kind of like chock full of jank. I do remember enjoying the one that they put on the Vita. Was it Hollow Realization? I forget. I played that one a bunch. And then there was another one that they made, which had like the shooting stuff. There's like some fun to be had with those games, but I feel like they fall off over long periods of time. Because basically they're more like visual novels than actual RPGs. The Dragon's Dogma 2 playlist has been my background while I replay it since the DLC was announced. Much love. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Then I just spoiled part of it for you when we go and we yeet the queen into the sea. That was a lot of fun. So, I wanted to see this thing about apparently some RAM companies are going to get shafted. That would be amazing. I doubt that's actually going to happen. This is a video by Yong Ye. As you guys know, he does a lot of news and stuff for the industry. I haven't watched it yet, so I wanted to check this out. I'm going to link it for everybody, and then we can get started. But it'd be great to see some of these companies actually face some consequences for the disgusting behavior that they've been. The absolute nasty profiteering that some of these companies have been doing is beyond disgusting, because a lot of these companies are where they are because gamers put them there. Because we buy the overpriced RAM, because we like building enthusiast hardware and all of that stuff, and it is what it is. But the way that they just kicked us to the curb the second they could is nothing short of disgusting. It is absolutely nastiness. Nasty business. Oh, man. But anyways, let's see what's happening here.
Seriously wrong with the current landscape of DRAM and it doesn't take a genius to figure out that there's something seriously wrong with the current landscape of DRAM and computing electronics. The fact that basically 3 companies have this much control over the economics of electronics, which are essential for modern society, and the fact that they can just start to appeal to AI companies and kind of send all their RAM that way and fuck everyone else over just because those companies stand to profit that much more from giving AI companies and those building data centers and whatnot what they want. You know, that is just not an environment that feels fair, and it's just incredibly shady that such an occurrence can even happen. The power dynamics involved there and just how much power these companies hold in the current economic landscape is just something that should not be allowed.
Bro, wouldn't it be amazing for the AI bubble to just pop and a ton of these companies to just fucking go under? Fuck them! Actually, it wouldn't be amazing because the prices would still continue rising if that was the case. So, for all intents and purposes, we will eventually have to fucking bail these people out. But we need to make them bleed. I hope they fucking bleed, dude. A lot of these people just need to fucking bleed. Because the way that they just straight up took a dump on the consumer market that put them where they are, not just memories, but like hard drives as well, and just hardware in general, right? Because even GPUs is also, yeah, GPUs are real good for AI processing, so fuck all you guys. Here's the 360. It's like, not the 360, the 3060. Here's the 3060, and you're just like, wait, what the fuck, bro? You realize we're in the 50 series now. What the fuck do you mean? Here's the 3060. Fuck you, NVIDIA. Like, what the hell? So yeah, it's absolutely disgusting the way that a lot of these companies have been operating, and I hope that there's eventually going to be a reckoning. I don't think there will be, because what always ends up happening is taxpayers always end up paying these companies, bailing them out. That's just the way that it always goes, because it's one big club and we're not in it. We just have to do what we're told, and that's usually the way that it ends up. People just get bailed out. But it really sucks, especially because a lot of the RAM that they're producing for AI shenanigans is actually not compatible with consumer RAM. So even if the AI bubble bursts and all of this RAM that they've been working on, they can't sell it, so they'd have to sell it to us. It's not compatible with our hardware, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
And that is why recently we've been seeing legal action, finally, against the top 3 RAM companies who have capitulated to this AI RAM apocalypse bubble hype and this gold rush towards AI dominance that is incredibly profitable for makers of, DRAM and for makers of, GPUs and the like. And so right here, we have a class action lawsuit being issued against Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. These 3 companies are the top 3 makers of RAM. Combined together, these 3 companies control 90% of the world supply of RAM. And RAM isn't just some luxury. RAM is actually essential for a lot of the technology that we use today that are essential, that we use to, live about our day-to-day.
Here's an interesting thing. A lot of people in the console war space, they think like, look at the PC master race struggling. Must suck for your parts to be so overpriced. We're over here in console land. It's so much better. It's like, prices are going to increase in consoles as well, because guess what? RAM is also used in consoles. It's really just that simple. Maybe we shouldn't be fighting these stupid wars that only benefit corporations and have no actual benefit for consumers. Wouldn't that be a good spot to be in? You want to know what else uses RAM? Phones, laptops, pretty much any electronic, tablets. Everything uses RAM. Everything is going to increase in price. Everything. Literally everything.
Day lives, and everything in this day and age is a smart device. Your car is now a smart device, and obviously smartphones and computers and those kinds of daily usage electronics are also pivotal to just you being able to live in the current modern day society. Your fridge can be a smart device now, so on and so forth. All of it has some kind of RAM component in it. All of them do require these computing components that are being hoarded by artificial intelligence, and that the companies who control these components are deciding to prioritize corporations over consumers. And that's the thing to note about the DRAM apocalypse. Of course, gamers have been feeling the effects of it with price increases for consoles like a Nintendo Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. The Xbox Series consoles just saw their 3rd price increase. The Steam Machine just got announced, and its price is hundreds of dollars more than it originally was intended to be. The Steam Deck recently increased in price by $300, so on.
Dude, the Steam Deck price increase was insane, because the interesting thing is I was actually waiting to see if there was going to be a hardware refresh of the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck, when did that release? That released a while ago, right? Steam Deck released 4 years ago. Steam Deck released 4 years ago, so I was thinking, maybe there'll be a hardware refresh for the Steam Deck, and it's no hardware refresh. How about a price refresh? It's $300 more expensive. I was like, what the fuck? Never gonna get one now. It's that's crazy.
And so forth, but it goes beyond gaming, which is technically more of a luxury or more of an entertainment product than something that is essential. Even the more essential products are starting to see this kind of price increase that is becoming economically not viable for your average Joe. It is very clear that something about this is not right. It is very clear that the fact that the system can be gamed in such a way where 3 companies can stand to make that much profit from screwing over basically most of the world and only appealing to a select few companies who are building a technology that is ethically questionable, that has been proven to be destructive in many ways, both economically and just with the environment and everything, on top of all the morally questionable elements surrounding not only the usage and the
Here's the interesting thing. I'm actually not against AI. I'm against AI in the way that we're doing it, which is completely out of control, we're basically, we're playing Russian roulette. That's what it feels like we're doing with AI. We're just playing Russian roulette. every now and then, like, oh yeah, we've done this amazing thing, and it's like, oh shit, this can actually just hack every fucking government system, and it can do all of this crazy shit. We probably shouldn't release this to the public. And then they go and they chained it up. This was like the Mythos to Fable arc of Anthropic that I kind of like followed in the sidelines a little bit. Basically, they released this AI model, which was Mythos, and it's like, holy shit, this thing is way too dangerous to be out there. So then they put some chains on it and, you know, give them some guardrails. It's like, okay guys, Mythos was crazy, so here's Fable. It's a lot more stable. And then people on the internet instantly go and just like break through the guardrails. It's like, actually, we managed to just activate it as Mythos again. It's like, oh fuck, oh no. It's like, it's just complete insanity. And the worst part of it is that you just feel this complete lack of control. That's the way that I feel about it, right? It's like, oh, these fucking crazy people could at any point in time just create a super intelligence that will decide that we are worthless and must be eliminated, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's just like, it reminds me of the thing that George Carlin said all those years ago, where he's like, no, I've signed out of the human experience. I'm just watching from a distance. I'm just watching and laughing because that's what you got to do if you want to fucking stay sane, bro. Because if you have any modicum of intelligence and you understand the basics of how they're operating this fucking AI research, you'd be like, the world can end tomorrow, bro, and there's nothing I can fucking do about it. It's great. It's fantastic. Oh my god, dude. It's so fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, Tilted Glory Gaming agreed. He was the best. He's probably down there now, screaming up at us.
Implementation of that technology, but the way it's being like built and the way there's a gold rush towards it.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's kind of like building
crazy,
AI
dude.
at all costs.
Yeah.
All of that is incredibly shady, which is why this class action lawsuit comes as something that a lot of people have expressed a lot of support over. And it's something that's detailed here in this Kotaku article titled "Class Action Lawsuit Accuses the Three."
So before we continue, I did notice that it's like there's nothing like Terminator in this AI bullshit. It's not even capable of doing anything useful. Sorry. There's nothing like Skynet yet. No. But not capable of doing anything useful. No, I don't think you understand. When it comes to programming, and I know that a lot of the ways in which some of these AIs code is not the best way to code, but at the end of the day, that is what a lot of companies are looking for now. Because like, look, a lot of the people that I play Kill Team with, they're actually still in IT, and they're doing they're doing coding work and they're doing all of this stuff, and they're basically seeing that a lot of companies are quite simply not even hiring developers anymore. They just have people vibe code the shit for them. As to whether it's useful or not, I don't know, but a lot of companies sure as fuck are just basically replacing people at a breakneck pace, and they are using whatever the fuck Claude is spitting out. So, yeah, that is basically already replacing a lot of jobs, just straight up.
And it's something that's detailed here in this Kotaku article titled "Class Action Lawsuit Accuses the Three Largest RAM Manufacturers of Colluding to Drive Up Prices," referring to Samsung, SK Hynix, and
they would never
Micron.
do that.
We're talking about 17 individual plaintiffs, including 3 small businesses who have launched a class action lawsuit in the Northern District of California against the 3 largest RAM and chip manufacturers in the world. And the plaintiffs allege that the 3 tech companies are colluding to raise the prices of RAM by keeping supplies artificially low, blaming it all on the AI data center driven RAM apocalypse rather than corporate policy. They're essentially being accused of using the proliferation of AI as an excuse to engage in the kind of business that they're engaging in. They're basically going, hey, our hands are tied. This is
C-suite executives would never do something as despicable as artificially inflating the prices of their products. What? I resent this. I resent this terrible accusation that has no basis on reality. Yeah, right. Of course they did it. Of course they fucking did it. Are you kidding me? They absolutely fucking did it. It's not like it's happened every single time different instances of goods. No, people would never do that.
Excuse to engage in the kind of business that they're engaging in. They're basically going, hey, our hands are tied. This is where the demand's at, so we gotta like go there. And with AI being pushed as this like essential technology and the next big like industrial revolution for the world, they're like, we gotta support this technology or whatever, and screwing over consumers along the way. But they're using AI as like a cover for what is essentially just a profit-driven venture. It's not about, what they need or don't need to do. It's just about what they actually want to do, which is make the most money possible. And the way they do that is by focusing on AI at the expense of like the rest of the world. The plaintiffs are accusing Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron of essentially being a part of a cartel that is collaborating to inflate DRAM and chip prices by controlling the overwhelming majority of the market, while proving that
not only has been done multiple times in other sectors, it has been done multiple times in the fucking computer hardware sector.
That will obviously be harder.
Specifically with RAM. It has been done before. Like, I've seen videos on the story of this, like from Gamers Nexus. They've talked about this. So it's like this specific thing, because like, it's not even just like, of course everybody does that. It's not even just that. It's like, of course they've done this. But not only they've done this in this specific market. Not only they've done this in this specific market, they've done it in this specific market with this specific fucking component. Because they just... You want to know why? Because they can. Because there's no laws. There are no laws. This is all just, there's guidelines. And so long as you have enough money, you're above the law. That's how it works.
Than alleging it, it's no secret that the three companies own roughly 90% of the DRAM market, Kotaku highlights here. And this all actually aligns with previous legal actions taken against companies like Samsung and SK Hynix when they were indicted back in 2005 and they were accused.
In 2005! It's like, guys, remember how he fucked everybody over 20 years ago? I'm gonna do it again.
By a San Francisco jury for DRAM price fixing and bid rigging. Now, this was back in 2005, but Kotaku highlights here that a recent comment from Valve actually highlights that something similar is going on today in 2026. It is highlighted right here. If bid rigging sounds familiar to you, that's because a Valve employee stated that RAM manufacturers essentially blacklisted the company for attempting to negotiate on RAM prices during the Steam Machine's manufacturing process. There's the exact quote from this Valve employee, quote, "Look, there is no contracts. There's nothing. Like those guys, they give us a price every month or something, and they say you can buy that many, and it's yes or no. And if we say no, then they never talk to us again."
Can you imagine trying to do business like that? Can you like just actually think about it? Like your supplier, you go up to your supplier and you're like, okay, so let's talk about the price of this thing, and your supplier's like, here's how many, you can buy this many, fuck you. And you're just like, wait, what do you mean fuck you? It's like, I don't fucking need you. You want to buy this shit or not? That's kind of the way that they treated Valve. That's the way they treated the biggest storefront in gaming. They just turned to them and they just said, fuck you. We don't need you. You want to buy this shit or not? No? Fuck you then. Stop wasting my time. I got to go sell more RAM to these big AI corporations.
This is information that comes from an interview that YouTuber Gamers Nexus did with this Valve employee. And yeah, it's something that's making a lot of headlines because that is shady AF. This feels like how like drug deals are handled. It's like cash up front, you take the deal, or like you're out and we never speak with you again and you never get to engage in business with us again. Like you just take the deal you're given because we have the control, we have the power, and we know you want the product. We know how essential it is for you to have our product. So the power belongs to us. You have no negotiating power. We'll give you a price. You say yes or no. And if you say no, then like you never work with us again. So that further incentivizes companies who need that RAM to just say yes to whatever price point is presented, as unreasonable as it might be. I mean, the freaking lack of contracts and stuff like that, how unofficial this all is. Again, it very much is like a cartel. It feels like drug deals are happening for RAM, basically. That glimpse that Valve provided behind the scenes provides a lot of legitimacy to the argument that the plaintiffs are making here. And furthermore, the plaintiffs accuse the three manufacturing giants for using the ever-growing need to supply AI data centers with DRAM and chips as cover for their collusion. Publicly, they're saying that this is essentially just doing business with companies who, need the product that they're supplying, and it's all about supplying components for a technology that will be an essential part of our future. But AI so far has proven to be woefully unreliable, and it's also a technology that is controversial for the world at large, where a lot of people don't see the benefits outweighing all of the cons surrounding the technology, its implementation, its destructive nature, and its ethical quandaries. And then on top of everything, when you look at the stock price increase for these companies like Micron, seeing an increase in stock price of 1,309%. And
imagine your salary increasing by a factor of 1,000%. Be the happiest man alive. These guys are over here. Oh, it's so hard. Market conditions. Oh no. SK Hynix is increased by 2,000%. What are these numbers, bro? We need a different scaling. Percent just doesn't make sense anymore. If we've reached 2,000%, that number doesn't make sense. We need a per mil. That's what we need at this point. It's not a percent, it's a per mil. Oh, it increased 2 per mil. So that we can start, so we can start actually increasing things properly. Fucking 2,000%, bro. 2,000%.
Micron seeing an increase in stock price of 1,309%, and SK Hynix seeing a stock price increase of 2,045% over the past 5 years.
Disgusting,
and most
bro.
of this happening in the last year. It is not hard to see why all this looks so incredibly shady. Companies becoming this rich this quickly and taking advantage of a financial crisis, essentially, by having all of the power because of the high in demand product that is an essential part of, our modern day society and the technology that we need in this day and age to just function on a basic level. The power that they're exerting over having that much ownership over this market and supplying all of that to AI companies and letting everyone else kind of bite the dust and, just kind of making riches that way. It's just, all kinds of messed up. And this is something that's already garnered a lot of traction. The Exerto's report here already garnering tons of interactions and a lot of support for these companies, like seeing some kind of justice or seeing some kind of consequence for something that shouldn't be possible, right? If things were actually just in the world, this should not be a thing that should ever be a possibility. The fact that the laws allow for this to happen is crazy. And so hopefully there's a class action lawsuit that can kind of bring them down a peg. But people talking about how this is exactly why everything costs a fortune now. These RAM giants collude to choke normal
They've already
supply,
done it
shove
in the
everything
past.
into AI, and jack up prices while we scramble for scraps. Greedy cartel behavior killing the consumer market. This is just such an egregiously rigged system and situation, and really highlights that no three companies, no three entities should have this much control over the entire economic landscape of components that are as essential as they are in this day and age. Now, class action lawsuits, they are a multi-year process. I wouldn't expect results anytime soon. I would expect that RAM prices will continue to go up as potential legal litigations, take their long time to kind of go.
Just out of curiosity, let me see how big RAM is gotten. Oh yeah, these are all sold out. Yeah, you can't buy. Although these are 96 gigs. These are kind of weird. I don't know what is the standard now. Is it 7,000? Okay, see, this is pretty reasonable. $600. Actually, it's not as expensive as I expected. I expected it to be more expensive. Look at this fucking 800 bones. Sold out. Can't even buy this one. This one you can order it, and there's 2 in stock of this one. 624. That's actually not too bad. That's not too bad. I find it interesting that I put in here 7,000. They're giving me the 6,000 stuff. So let's go to 6,000. See how we doing there. Hey, 500 bucks. That's not too bad. 500 euros for 32 gigs of RAM. That seems fucking reasonable. Oh man, Jojo Mojo, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. Dude, that is fucking crazy. Hey, look, this one's on discount. 2 times 16 gigs, 379. Like, I'll be real. These actually, considering the current situation we're in, these specific ones actually seem like they're pretty reasonable. 379, 32 gigs of RAM. It's not too bad. Look at this. I was looking at this. It's 2 sticks of 8 gigs. Bro, it's 2 sticks of 8 gigs for 230 euros. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh no, dude. Oh no. How about this 64 gig kit for 1,000 euros? Oh God.
Go through their natural process. Things are not going to get better anytime soon. Microsoft recently came out, Asha Sharma recently came out from Xbox and talked about how, prices have already gone up by...
Asha Sharma came out and she said something in the lines of, oh, gamers are being priced out of the hobby. This fucking sucks. Also, we're increasing the price of Xbox. How can we make that up, right? She comes out and she's like, oh man, it really sucks that people are getting priced out of the hobby. Also, we're raising our prices. Just like almost in the same fucking breath. What do you mean? What do you mean? Wada says the ones I bought 2 years ago for 190 are now 940. Actually, it was only a year and a half ago. Exactly. That's what fucked up inflation, dude. Oh, man.
By an average of 2.5 times since the Xbox Series launched. And she expects that by fall of 2027 or by end of 2027, we'll see those prices double yet again in terms of those computing components. So,
see, guys, this is why I said, you guys remember when I bought the Switch 2? You guys remember how I said I don't want to buy a Switch 2 right now. I want to buy a Switch 2 later. If you guys remember, I said this because I was inevitably going to get a Switch 2 for Duskbloods. Like, that was always going to happen. But you guys remember that I said I don't want to buy it right now. I didn't buy it on release. So on when we had Black Friday, there was a promotion where I could get the Switch 2 with Mario Kart for 400 euros. And I was like, this is the cheapest this console is ever going to be for the next 5 years. That was my prediction. I bought it at 400 euros. I've barely touched it, to be honest. I've played a little bit here and there, but I haven't played it all that much because I knew that was going to be the case. But that console is just up and up and up. Like, I don't know how much it costs right now. Let me actually see. I'll actually check. Although prices in Portugal aren't really, at least it seems to me like they usually aren't as expensive as in other places. Let me just see here. Let's see, Switch 2. Oh, actually, it's not super expensive here still. So, like, you have the default one for 420 euros, and you have the one with Mario Kart for 484. I feel like it's more expensive in other places in the world, but I could be wrong. But I thought it was going to be even more expensive. Regardless of that, I bought this model with Mario Kart for actually, it wasn't even 400. It was like 399. Whatever. It's fucking 400. Whatever. 950 euros in Romania. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, PS5 and Xbox hikes are even worse. Yeah, they are. Actually, let me see how high those have gotten, because they've probably gotten even worse. Fucking shit. 800 euros, bro. What the fuck? Almost 900 for the Pro. Then there's the Slim Standard Edition, 574. That's fucking insane. The cheapest one you can get is the Slim Standard Edition. It's probably like one store running a promotion, right? Yeah, it's like one store, like whatever the fuck this high case is. So you can't even get this properly in retail. You have to go to like a specific store to get a deal like this. These are all like probably online retailers, some bullshit. iCase, you get, these are like some shady sounding ass names. Most of the places are upwards of 600 bones. That's fucking insane. That is actually insane. So like Fnac, this is a major retailer. Like Darty, this is another major retailer. So this is the standard price for major retailers is 650. The standard price for major retailers is actually 650. And then for the Pro, if we go again to the major retailers, it's actually 900. It's 900 for most major retailers. Like places that you know that's like, oh, if I have a problem with this console, I can actually go and fucking get it fixed. Because some of these other places that have it like cheaper, it's like, well, you know, if your console breaks, fucking good luck, brother. There's no physical location to go fucking fix it. I shudder to look at the Xbox after that. That's got to be fucking insane. 750 euros for the Xbox Series X. Again, let's go to actual. Oh, Xbox is not even sold. It's not even sold in major retailers, bro. What the fuck? I have to actually go to the website of the major retailer to actually look for the Xbox. Bro, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, bro. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? Wait, what? Did they straight up not have it? Oh, here it is, the white version. 600. Oh no, this is not them. This is like them selling it through their marketplace. Oh God. Oh no. This is not good. Let me see if we put in Series X. Yeah, they straight up don't have it. That's fucking crazy, dude. They don't even have the fucking thing. They don't even have the fucking thing. Oh my God. Also, let me actually see the Switch 2 in major retailers, because like I said, this is probably like some shade. Oh, this is an Amazon? Amazon's $464. Okay, major retailers, $419. Okay, this one would be pretty decent deal still on El Corte Inglés, I guess. Darty, $429. It's not too bad yet, but it's gonna get worse. Like, get ready, because this one's gonna get worse. Guaranteed.
Increases for not just gaming, but for essential electronics as a whole. Like, it's just the beginning, folks. And we all have AI to blame for that. And alongside that, of course, the companies who are actually like enabling this bullshit, including Samsung and SK Hynix and Micron, who, yeah, because of the riches that they stand to make, they're willing to kind of go along with this incredibly shady and exploitative system and situation. As long as they get to make the money, you know, it doesn't matter who gets to suffer for it, because they don't have the general public's interest in mind, despite the fact that the function that they serve as the top 3 biggest RAM manufacturers, like, very much is something that the public is heavily dependent on in terms of those companies kind of serving their products in goodwill. And that is not what's happening right now, with the way they're giving into greed and they're giving into the gold rush of AI because of just the sheer amount of money that they stand to make. And it's just about seeing those numbers go up, even if it means like just destroying the world economy along the way, especially where computing electronics are concerned. So, you know, hopefully all of this goes through. You know, I can't sit here and say that I'm confident that these companies will be taken down by this.
It's like, look, the way that these things go, and these are lessons that I've learned throughout life. I'm a 44-year-old man. I've had to, as we say in Portugal, we have an expression which is swallowing toads, which, as you can imagine, is something very unpleasant. So we consider that something that sometimes you have to do in life in order to, you know, progress with your career, whatever, do stuff, you have to swallow toads. And so, as somebody who's had to swallow his fair share of toads, what I can tell you is that, look, when it comes to this type of stuff, and, you know, there's little companies suing a big company and all of that, what's going to happen is the big companies are going to get bailed out for all of their greedy practices. I've seen this a million times over, every single time. I've never seen a big company get punished in any way. Regardless of how irresponsible they are with their money, regardless of how irresponsible they are with, their business dealings, how shady they are, the big corporation is usually too big to fail. That's just the way that it goes. And so politicians will inevitably be lobbied into oblivion, and they will inevitably comply with all the demands that these companies are making. And the people that end up paying for it are going to be your average day taxpayers, which is unfair. That's just the way that these things go. So it's like, I don't have any hope that this is going to get solved. The only way for this to get solved is for the AI bubble to eventually pop. But even when that inevitably happens, because it will happen, because we've seen it, because for those who aren't aware, that aren't really doing a lot of research into AI is not profitable right now. So, like, you can go up to ChatGPT, you can have ChatGPT generate you like a fucking, 5,000 words essay or some bullshit like that. You can turn it in your college and all of that. That 5,000 word essay that you generated for free most of the times, even though you can be paying for it, even if you had paid for it through like the cheapest plan or whatever the fuck that they have, even if you paid for it, that was not a profitable thing for them. That prompt that you just did was not profitable. And most prompts at this point are not profitable because the business is still in its infancy, yada, yada, yada. And it's just not profitable. That's the thing. You might think, oh, but all these companies are like exploding and blah, blah. Yeah, there's people that are kind of like profiting off of AI, but the actual prompts that you are doing are not profitable for the people that are hosting them. So like, that's why they need constant investment. That's why they need constant rounds of funding, because the actual technology is still not profitable. It is spending more energy than, you are paying to use the technology. If you even are paying to use technology, because a lot of us just use the technology for free. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
This class action lawsuit. But, at the same time, those arguments are certainly compelling. And with recent occurrences like Valve talking about how shadily they had to make deals for RAM, again, almost like it is like a cartel that, they aren't even signing contracts. They're just saying, we have a price point, take it or leave it or get fucked, kind of a thing. It's all very, very like no way this can be above board. No way, or at the very least, even if by the current letter of the law, it's technically above board, it cannot continue this way. This cannot be allowed because otherwise, there's just no hope of the market recovering. And it's going to fuck all of us over quite significantly in the long term. I mean, we're already seeing some of the effects of that outside of gaming, like with Apple recently announcing that MacBooks and iPads increasing by 20% due to memory crunch. This happened just effective immediately on June 25th, 2026. And Apple being one of the biggest brands in the world, that's gonna, and so many people being reliant on the Apple ecosystem, this is gonna put a huge damper on people whose salaries certainly haven't matched the rate at which prices are increasing. So, where does this leave the rest of us, right? It's fucked, is what it is. So time will tell how all this pans out, but at the very least...
Sinbad makes a very good point. Why would they even care? The money they would lose with lawsuit is never enough of a deterrent, just like when Nexon was rigging the gachas. Exactly. It's like, however much money they have to pay to settle this class action lawsuit, they'll pay it gladly. It's like what they usually talk about in business terms. It's a speeding ticket. It's a speeding ticket. It's like, oh no. We have to pay $50 million to this class action lawsuit. That will almost make a dent in the billions we're raking in from the AI industry right now. Holy shit, we got to be more careful. Then they just fucking write a check and burn a $100 note to light their cigarette on fire. It's like, fuck these people. They don't give a fuck. It's a speeding ticket. The speeding ticket is all it's going to do.
there's some precedence of people actually realizing how messed up this all is and taking some kind of action. And hopefully those kinds of actions continue to increase and build up over time so that we're able to do something about this, because this cannot stand. Or at the very least, that's one man's take. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, guys, do check out the video. Leave it a like. Cool beans. I'm gonna link it. You guys do check it out. But yeah, it's pretty much what we've been discussing. These companies are price fixing. These companies are basically just giga profiteering. They're leaving the consumers in the dust. We can all get fucked for all they care. And it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a big club, and we're not in it, which fucking sucks. They're 100% price fixing. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like on Portugal, they sell you cars with an illegal tax, but the profit they make makes up for what they have to pay in the EU for the infraction. Yeah, pretty much. As a matter of fact, if the infraction increases, they'll just increase the price of the tax. Gaming is now not a hobby, but a luxury. It's been that way for a while. The AI bubble is just increasing that at a rapid pace, which is a serious problem. This is why I make videos talking about, you know, stuff like the GTA stuff also raising the prices, which is disgusting. The GTA stuff doing all of these anti-consumer prices, which is also not anti-consumer prices, even though the prices are anti-consumer. The anti-consumer practices, which is also disgusting, but the industry will end up following those practices, so other publishers will end up doing the same thing. Like you can expect EA to pull a lot from the book of what Rockstar has been doing recently. So yeah, these are all things that we're going to be seeing pretty friggin' soon. Let me just take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. If you guys are enjoying the stream, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll be right back. Love you guys. Give me a second. Yeah, buddy. Guys, I'm making a new YouTube channel. It's going to be Ruri's chair. Dude, that would be so successful. That'd be giga successful. His chair the chats from the day he's late. Now, wait a minute. Can't go that far. The worst part is today was definitely not even my fault. It was 100% not my fault. It's not. It is what it is. So there's a couple of news articles that I wanted to check out that I have here. So apparently there's been significant layoffs at Bungie, which this is something that we already knew was going to happen because Destiny 2 stopped development. It is insane how mishandled this IP was. The headcount was reduced after the decision was made to end support long live running service shooter Destiny 2. And the thing is, we're going to be seeing a lot more of this because there's too many people that are trying to follow the live servicey approach to video games, and it's quite simply not going to work very well. Like, if you guys didn't know, Wildgate is also stopping their, which is completely unrelated to Destiny, but it also shows kind of like a trend. I think it says stop active development. Moonshot pauses active development of Wildgate. Wildgate struggled to find an audience after the launch. The team is ending the active development. No layoffs are planned. The game will remain playable and updated when needed. Moonshot is moving on to other research and development projects. At least they're not firing people. But yeah, this is another one that is basically stopping active development. Now, Wildgate's a little bit Wildgate's a little bit different because of the fact that they were trying to like make this really cool shooter. Because like the idea behind Wildgate is really cool, but one of the things that I said since the beginning is like it's far too complex to be able to sell it to people. So not everybody's going to want to get invested into something that has such an uncertain future. Because I think that the idea behind this game was really cool. But yeah, the game stopping development, and this is after 1.5 years of being released. And I see this happening to a lot of other video games moving forward. Like, a lot of these games are basically going to stop active development after barely being out for a year, which is insane. In a message written by CEO of Studio Business Group Herman Holst, it's confirmed that developers who worked on Destiny 2 and Bungie's newest shooter Marathon would be impacted. We have made the decision to reduce Bungie's workforce, affecting a significant number of employees, including most of the Destiny team and some Marathon team members, Holst says. There are also reductions across SIE teams that support Bungie's operations. Those impacted at Bungie and within SIE are being informed today. This is painful news, especially for talented colleagues whose roles have been eliminated. This decision was made only after extensive discussion and careful consideration, and I want to provide some context on how we arrived here. Over the past several months, together with Bungie leadership, we reviewed the studio's long-term direction, development priorities, and resource needs, and role within our broader portfolio strategy. We explored multiple alternatives before concluding that a reduction was necessary to align the studio's resources with its current priorities and long-term goals. I feel that one of the biggest issues with Destiny was the fact that they quite simply monetized so hardcore that for a lot of players, they just did not want it to be monetized that hard. It's that simple. And so they stopped playing the game. Because like you can only push people so hard until they push back. And in the case of Destiny, they pushed people around way too much. That's the way that I look at it. Because like you have to understand that there's a limit to how greedy you can get. And some games are able to get away with it and others are not. And this is one of those games that was not. Not to mention that they've also done terrible allocation of resources, because obviously they were developing Marathon at the same time that they were developing Destiny, and clearly they didn't have enough talent to do both. And they dedicated too many resources to Marathon and not enough to Destiny. And so Destiny was constantly in a state of content drought, is my understanding as well. So, yeah. You hear I'm one of those people and I love Destiny 2. Exactly. Like, I don't play, I stopped playing Destiny because I was like, look, if you guys are going to fuck me in the ass, at least make sure that I'm wearing lipstick. No, wait, that joke, no, that I fucked that up so bad. It's like, I was asking Bungie, am I wearing lipstick because I like to get kissed before I get fucked, but they never asked. They didn't even lube me up every time that, they wanted to have intercourse. It was just way too violent. It was just too violent, bro. It's like, no, I don't want that. Nobody wants that. It was crazy when they just started just removing expansions. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Absolutely no respect for the money that you've spent in the game. They have no respect for that. They're just like, yep, fuck you. Content's gone. So, you guys ever watch Demolition Man? In the beginning when Sylvester Stallone confronts Wesley Snipes and he goes like, "Where are the hostages, Phoenix?" And Phoenix goes like, "Now where did I put them?" Fuck you. The hostages are gone. It was the same thing with Destiny. They're like, fuck you. The content you bought was gone. It's gone, bro. I deleted that shit. Except rather than deleting it, I put it in a vault. I vaulted it. I vaulted your content. It's like, is it ever going to come out of the vault? No, bitch. It's gone. I vaulted it and shot the vault into space. This is a sci-fi game. We shot that bitch into space. It's floating out there next to Elon's Tesla. All right? Shot that bitch into space. Oh, God. Oh, man. Yeah. Sony Interactive president says company wants to continue to revitalize the live service market, bro. You guys ever seen the Goofy meme where it's just like Goofy and he has like this fucking psycho face? He's like, I'll fucking do it again. I'll do it again. That's them. As them going like, oh, you guys remember Concord? How we fucked that up? Remember Destiny? How we fucked that up? Remember Marathon? How we're actively fucking that up? Guess what? We're gonna fucking do it again. We're gonna do it again. Sony Interactive Entertainment President CEO Hideaki Nishino says the company will continue to take on challenges when it comes to live service titles. Addressing Sony's live service gaming efforts in an interview with Famitsu. You know that game, the Horizon game? That game's gonna bomb, bro. I'm gonna predict that game's gonna bomb. You wanna know why that game's gonna bomb? I looked at all the characters in that game. There was not a single character I was interested in playing. What's the name of that thing? Horizon Hunters or some bullshit? Hunter's Gathering? Yeah, this thing. See, I looked at all the characters in this game. There was not a single character I was interested in playing. So there's this chick with like an insect glaive. She flies around. She's like, I don't know, I guess she's kind of like Tracer. There's the dude with the bow. I don't play bows, dude. Then there's the guy with the hammer, except for some strange reason, he rides the hammer in the ground. It's like the most awkward thing I've seen in my life, dude. Like, look at this. Otherwise, he's just like a fucking lanky old man. Look at him. The fuck? It's like there's not a single character I'm interested in. Because the characters look like trash? I mean, I wouldn't say they look like trash. I just said there's not a single one I'm interested in. Because, like, I feel like the game actually looks interesting, like the premise of the game. But the characters just, like, the character is the representation of you in the game. It is the vehicle through which you experience the game. And if the characters don't look appealing to you, then the game's not going to be appealing. The hammer guy was the worst character when I was playing. Oh, did you play the alpha already? Did you play the alpha already, I mean? Looks like Fortnite High Guard Concord looking trash. Generic free-to-play designs. I don't know, dude. This is the same studio that gave us Aloy, and I think Aloy is a really cool character. I know that a lot of people meme on like fat face Aloy or whatever. I like Aloy. Aloy as a character, really fucking cool. If they had a character looked like Aloy, I would actually be interested. But like, the other characters they have in there just don't look good. I played 2 tests. Okay. Well, it is what it is. But yeah. He added Sony would like to continue to revitalize the market through both first-party and third-party content. Nishino went on to note that Sony is not only focusing on promoting new releases, but also considering what it can do with older titles. Excuse me. Considering what it can do with older titles in the medium to long term. With live service games, it's important to continuously provide something. He continued, the genre itself is relatively new. Okay. Ruri's chair, help. Thank you very much for the soul tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. So, wait a minute. The genre itself is relatively new. The live service genre is relatively new. Am I crazy, guys? Somebody help me here. The genre of live service games is relatively new. What century is this? What decade is this? The fuck do you mean the genre itself is relatively new? The live service genre? Bro. Ultima Online released in 1997. That's likely not even the first one. That's just one of the few ones that I've played. 1997. Brother, that was almost 30 fucking years ago. Fucking end me, dude. The genre itself is relatively new. Yeah, about as new as gaming. What? I think many people are trying various things, so we want to continue to take challenges on in that context. Shino also stated Sony's planning to release its next live service. Wait. How is Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls a live service game? Help! Help! Guys, help! We're doing Night Rain at the top of the hour? Holy shit. Top of the hour, brother? That is crazy. These guys just unilaterally decided that, like, fuck Rurikhan, we're doing it now. I see how it is. You got 30 minutes. Yeah. Fighting games are live service games with offline campaigns. No, I'll join you guys, Cowboy. I still need to create my own stream. Shino's comments on Famitsu come after Bungie, the studio behind live service shooter Marathon, reportedly suffer hundreds of layoffs. Yeah, it's what I've been saying. Sony's just going like, we'll fucking do it again. We'll do it again. Because we're smart like that. Oh, man. Wait, what is this? The Magic Archer. Get rid of that one. Okay. Since Cowboy's here rudely interrupting us, I guess we'll do some of these next time around. We've also been doing it for 3 hours. Should probably get some food and shenanigans. Let me just something here. Please tell me that I still have some that I can, like, reuse. Oh yeah, before we do that, though, I do need to do this. I did not forget you guys. We have Longbeard shoutouts. Victor, MRCRO7547, Golf of Fajr, Saphirian 688, Quirin Das, Ediero Dan, Nunes Francisco, Athena the Baddie, Renix, Necro Eyes X, Hookeye, Venom Pure Evil, Really Old Gamer, Worst Wardmonger, Pascal Calais, Mizzen Jamal, Heimdall, Astronar Age, Fox Lavender, Dr. Eisenhower, Sephiroth, Sangetsu, Mr. Wipeout, Inquisitor Reed, Jojo Mojo, Draxus K, J Walko 4, Senior Bacon, New Video Nerd, Figster, Coldbrick, Red Pig Bank, Angry Scott's Dad, Robert396, Report Turrets, which used to be known as Shelby Neko, I'm pretty sure. Thank you all very much for being grossly incandescent as Longbeards, you Giga Chads. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank God, a break. No breaks. There are no breaks on this train. Let me just grab some here real quick. Hopefully we're not too late. Pretty please. Oh man, this... Oh, there it is! There it is. Okay, we have one. Luckily, we have one. I will have to change the description, but we do have it, which is perfect. Boom! Just see here... Put this to the top of the hour. Done. Bro, I'm so efficient. I'm the king of efficiency. Nope. Absolutely not. Never. Boom. Okay, guys, we're going to be streaming at the top of the hour, so I need to take a very quick break, get some food in me and all of that good stuff. We're going to be streaming with Cowboy and Ark, going to be doing some shenanigans in modded Night Rain. Hope you guys are down for that. I will see you guys then. Thank you very much for hanging out with me during today's episode of Conscast. Y'all stay strong out there. Stay safe. Peace out.